Baddog, we're back. Giants starting in 10 days. So
yeah, and Eli Manning away 10 days.
And the regular season starts in 7 days. The Thursday night game between.
That's right. We get to watch the Cowboys get the holy hell beat out of them by the Super Bowl champs.
Absolutely.
That'll be entertaining.
And we're going to have a lot more to talk about as the season is fast approaching. But obviously, there's some minor stuff in the news today. And as the regular season is fast approaching, we'll talk about all of it. The news about everybody back playing with the New York Giants, the offensive line worries that I'm sure tons of people in this chat have, being that we're only 10 days to go before the regular season. We don't even know what our starting lineup is going to be in terms of the offensive line. So certainly some question marks there. We'll talk about that throughout the stream. But hello to a couple people in the chat. What's going on there, Joe? What's going on there, Mike? What's going on there, Roldy? What's going on? What's going on, Mike? Abraham, thank you so much for being here. Ryan D in the chat. David in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. But yeah, Baddog, let's start with, I guess, the offensive line. I think that's kind of the major talking point right now. Shane Lemieux, obviously, news came out, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days ago that he's got some kind of knee injury, and he may not. They're going to see, I guess, if he could play. But my line of thinking here is with all these guys they brought in, trading for Price, making, they've added 3 offensive linemen in the last 3 days, all on the interior portion of the offensive line, which we knew they were going to do. We knew that they were going to try to add depth to this offensive line. But I think it's starting to point towards that they don't have a lot of confidence that Lemieux is going to be playing for this team this year, or at least they're very skeptical about whether or not he can make it through the year. So if you're the Giants, and let's say that's the case, Lemieux is going to be out, what do you do here? Do you move Gates from the center to the guard, or do you stick with Gates and substitute one of these other guys in to play the guard position? I think that's the main question that we have right now for the New York Giants.
Man, it's tough. Obviously Gates is a guard by trade, and he was a pretty good guard, but I think he did well adapting to center. We talked about that quarterback center, the chemistry that you have to have, between those two guys. You got to get used to the cadence and everything else. I don't know if I'd want a new center in there with Daniel Jones. I mean, Nick Gates worked with them all last season. I think I'd be more comfortable with Nick Gates staying at center and plugging one of those other guys in at the right guard position. It kind of sucks. I mean, I know a lot of people were concerned about it when this happened initially, but the more and more you look at the offensive line and how worrisome this is becoming, dropping Zeitler becomes more and more glaring now. Obviously, he was our best lineman, our most,
proven lineman for sure.
Yeah, what's the word? Consistent. He was definitely the most consistent lineman, and he made the line better. So, obviously, major question marks. But I mean, if it's me, I'm probably looking at keeping Gates there, just because, again, I like the the chemistry that they have to have, that continuity and everything else. So I don't want Daniel Jones to have 3 different centers. Not that Gates wouldn't go back to center, but I don't want Daniel Jones to keep rotating centers either. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of like a pitcher and a catcher almost, in a sense, where, you get in rhythm and you kind of know what each other's going to do. You get on the same page and everything else. And then all of a sudden you have to change, everything else. I don't know. I'd rather Gates stay there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they got 2 options. I think Bredesen, the guard that they just picked up, who I actually liked, he was actually ranked higher than Lemieux in the 2020 draft. He just couldn't. I think Baltimore had a pretty deep offensive line. That's why he became available. He's capable of playing the guard position. They have that option if Lemieux can't go. You stick him at the guard, or they brought in 2 centers now with the addition today, and along with Billy Price. So, Skur's been in the league now. He's actually probably their, outside of Nate Solder, is their most, in terms of most experienced lineman. He's got 51 starts. He was actually the center for Daniel Jones at Duke. So that'll be interesting to see what they ultimately decide to do. I think that's a major question mark going into the regular season. But I think as Giants fans, you're asking a lot for these that have never played with any members of these offensive line to come in and just be ready to start 10 days after they come over to the football team. I hope Lemieux's ready to go, but I think there's major question marks. I do like the depth that we added, though. I think it was necessary.
Yes, it was.
Agreed that they were going to wait until the final hour to do it, because that's when teams are going to get rid of their best players that just missed the 53 when they're forced to make trades. So I like what the Giants did in terms of the depth. But like you said, circling back to the draft, I was always a Slater guy, especially after we lost Zeitler, and after we signed Galladay. I thought it was a glaring omission, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite the New York Giants. That's all I can say. But right now, going in, pretty nervous about this line.
I hear you. Let me get a couple of these. Tutto, grazie. Brilly says, ciao, my paisani. I dropped by your office to pay our proper respect. And for all the Giants fans around the world, as usual, paintbrush the Eagle fans. I had to paintbrush LB a little bit last night at the round table. When he tried to argue Jalen Hurts, I had to knock him down a peg because I know that quarterback and I know Oklahoma, and it didn't work. By the way, just so you know, in that show, I predicted us to go 10-7. I didn't realize I was going to do that. But 10-7, we all predicted our teams to win the division. Louis T predicted that Washington to go 10-7. Law Nation predicted the Cowboys to go 13-4. Yep. And LB predicted the Eagles to go 12-5. So as you can see, me predicting 10-7, Louis T predicting 10-7, a little bit, probably a little optimistic, but definitely closer to reality. I love those guys. It was a great show. But
13-4 with that defense.
Yeah, listen. It's funny when you go through the schedule, you're like, we can beat this team. We can beat this team. We can beat this team. And then I'm like, damn, did I really pick us to go 10-7? I was surprised. But that's because I picked us to sweep Washington, because until Washington beats us, I have to pick us. And that's not saying Washington can't beat us, because they definitely can. But much like the Eagles, I mean, I picked us to split with the Eagles. I didn't pick us to sweep. I have us losing the game after Christmas. We just, because again, we don't win in Philadelphia. You don't mean we can't win there, but we haven't. So it's hard for me to say, yeah, we're going to do it this time. Although my big upset was picking the Jets to beat the Eagles, because they've never beat them in their lifetime. I also made a bold statement that after the Denver game, Jalen Hurts is going to get benched, because Jalen Hurts and the company, Denver's going to kill them in Mile High Stadium.
I could see that.
And I think Louis T agreed. I think so. Damian, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you, brother. Really. If we don't know our offensive line, that means our opponents don't know our offensive line. We got the element of surprise on our sides. Help us, as Philly 500 would say, pound. Help us, please.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's the optimistic way to work.
Yeah, the weapons, I can see you making that argument, because nobody's gotten a look at Kadarius Toney on tape. Nobody's seen how they're going to use Barkley in this year's offense. Galladay, they haven't. In terms of the offensive line, I don't think that argument holds much water. In terms of the weapons, maybe you can make that argument.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Really. Brunson, now the Eagles going 12-5. Yes, sir.
Brunson takes drugs.
Yes, sir. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. It's just
12 is fine. The Eagles might not win 12 games over the next 2 years.
I had them going 6-11, which I actually thought I'd have them going 5-12. I picked them to go 6-11, but I think I was fair. Now I picked Washington to go 9-8. He said Louis T said I had the Cowboys going 8-9. I swear I picked more wins for the Cowboys than 8 wins. I thought I did, but 8-9. I don't think that what I picked was out of the realm of possibility. I really don't.
I think I've said it all along. I think between 8 and 10 wins is realistic for all three of the Giants. Washington.
I think I was a little optimistic at 10-7, but I mean, again, that's because of the Washington thing. Cody, thank you, brother. Brilly debated going to week 3. Just won tickets. Well, you don't need. I don't think you're debating now. You're because he's saying Eli here. I come. You going to that one, Chris? I saw that you were.
I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely going to the Eagles. I actually talked to the tailgate guy. I'm booking that tomorrow for the Eagles game. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because Strahan's number gets retired, which is a nice surprise.
And we'll be in attendance for that. We're going to have a tailgate set up and everything else. The Falcons game, I'm not 100% sure on. I actually talked to the tailgate guy for the Falcons game, and he said he was already booked. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one, but definitely going to be going to the we're both going to be going to the Eagles game. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
DWG will be in the hizza. DWG plans on coming over for some Sunday football this year, too, now that COVID is a little bit better. And I'm vaccinated, and he's vaccinated. So, DWG don't like germs. So he's good now because he's like, oh, you got vaxxed? Good, I can come over. Okay. So I told him, I said, I got vaxxed just for you, baby. Come on. I've got vaxxed so I could go to the Giants game. I didn't know what their policy was. Yeah, we got time. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Really, my man. He says, I got the Saints fans telling me because of Hurricane came to winning the Super Bowl because that's what happened last time. Yeah. And they open against us. I doubt it. No Drew Brees this time. So going to be a little bit more difficult with Jameis Winston as your starter. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, now that he mentions it, I do remember that was the year that they won the Super Bowl. But that is, that seems like an odd coincidence. I don't see Jameis Winston winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. But I do think they could be better than people think, because I do think the Saints still have a good all-around roster.
I picked us to lose that one.
Yeah, and that's a tough game. I think a lot of Giants fans are sleeping on that. We got lucky because Michael Thomas won't be playing, and because now it's not going to be in the Superdome. And we know how big of an advantage the Superdome is, for the New Orleans Saints. So I think it worked out in that aspect for the New York Giants. But overall, I still think that'll be a tough game. But they ain't winning the Super Bowl.
No, God, no way. They're not completed. You need a quarterback. Jameis Winston ain't that guy. Too many turnovers.
Yeah.
Which people could say about Daniel Jones, too. But hopefully Daniel Jones can right that wrong, but we'll have to see. Mike, thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
He got better with the turnovers in the second half.
He did. Listen, I have faith in Jones. Somebody asked me last night. They're like, "Do you have faith?" I'm like, gun to my head, I can't say I do. He hasn't proven it yet. No, mean I don't think he can do it, because they're at, and I'm like Giants fans will tell you, I'm very critical of him, and I get very high on him because I'm like, he pisses me off because I see flashes of brilliance, and then I see him act like you don't know what he's doing. And it's like, come on, man. And again, the guy's got to help him out. The pass to Darius Slayton was absolutely perfect. Third and 13, there was a rifle. Slayton out of his break balls right. You got to catch it. He needs help. Come on.
And Jones did a great job on that play, stepping up in the pocket.
He did.
He had blitz coming from the blind side. He felt the pressure good on that play.
Mike, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. Brilly, my man. What up, guys? Two favorite YouTubers. Boot to the ass is the mindset of week one. That is all. I like it.
We got to come out ready to play. And we've said it several times, but and Kenny Galladay kind of said it today as well. We're gonna have to run the football. We're not gonna be able to come out with all the guys that have been banged up in training camp going against that secondary. We got to establish the run. Now, the good news for the New York Giants in that game, and I'll talk about it more extensively as the game is approaching. The Denver Broncos last year, I think, ranked 28th in the league in terms of yards per carry against. So they're not very good in terms of defending the run, and they did nothing this offseason to improve that. They made no additions to their interior defensive line, their middle linebacking core. That's how we have to attack that team. If anything, the New York Giants offense was able to prove last year, it was able to prove that we were able to establish the run over the second half of the year. We got a pretty good push up front in terms of run blocking. That is absolutely the way we have to attack the Denver Broncos. If Jones throws 20, 25 times that game, I'll be happy. Don't throw it over, manage the game, and let your defense find a way to get a W.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the Giants' mantra until all these guys are healthy and they're all on the same page. And this offensive line proves that they can pass block. We saw them last year. They were able to run block a lot better. They were kind of middle of the pack as far as run blocking goes with Wayne Gallman back there. So if they can just establish the run, they're going to have to win ugly the first 2 weeks, because it's not like Washington's defense is any easier. So that's what we're going to have to do. That's going to have to be the Giants until Galladay gets on the same page, Toney gets his reps, and like I said, hopefully our line learns how to pass block better. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to win ugly. I don't care how we win. Just win, baby. Just win. Philly, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Really, what up, fellas? Bad Dog, I need a favor. I need you to punch your hand and yell, Mark, I'm going to knock your ass out. You mean like this? You mean like this? If I go like this, Mark, I'm going to knock your ass out. Like that?
That worked. I think that worked. That was pretty loud.
That was pretty good. I mean, you get louder as Daniel Jones throws a pick in the end zone when it matters. Then I'll be Daniel Jones knock your ass out. Card Coach, man, thank you. I really appreciate it so much, my man. Really. What up, Bad Dog? Chris, sorry, I've been MIA. I am sipping a nice lemon lime Slaterade right now. It tastes like a glass of I told everyone so. I went crazy when we didn't take Slater nor a single O-line with 7 picks. Chris, I want to talk to you about that because I'm sure you've mentioned this, and we might have even mentioned this last week. I don't know if we said the exact number or what, but Dave Gettleman said that and I might have talked about this with the panic video. I think I did. I don't know if we discussed this last week. Maybe we did. I'm old, having an old man moment here. Dave Gettleman says, I'm coming in, fixing the offensive line. He goes out, he signs Solder, he tries. He has, in 4 years, he has the lowest pick he has was this year. It was 11th. Rashawn Slater was there. He decided to trade back and take Kadarius Toney. He took Barkley at 2. He took Jones at 6. And he took Andrew Thomas at 4, which many are now saying he's the worst one in the draft. Okay.
Which is too early to tell you, but
it's too early to tell. He's had 33 draft picks and he's used 5 of them on the offensive line.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how the hell did he plan on fixing the offensive line if he's not trying to fix the offensive line? You can't be bringing in guys that are cut and that are off the scrap heap and bring them in here like a Cam Fleming and all these other guys and think, this is going to fix it. So people that are getting on Gettleman, I looked at this and I go, I understand now, because this guy came in and said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix this. And it doesn't look like he's really made a concerted effort to fix it.
Here's what I'll say about it. I do think he's made an effort. I think he could have made more of an effort, but his effort has not worked. That's the way I look at it, because yes, he's only drafted 5. He drafted Will Hernandez. He drafted George Asafa-Ajay, who was a 7th-round pick, and then he drafted 3 offensive linemen last year. But however, he also had Nick Gates, undrafted free agent that he picked up, who's been proven to be pretty good. He signed Nate Solder to a mega contract on the left side, and he traded for Kevin Zeitler, who was here for a couple of years, but I do think he made an effort for the offensive line. My problem is this year he needed to continue that effort. You can't, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope these guys are fantastic, but you cannot bank on Matt Parrott, who's got 150 snaps in the NFL, and Shane Lemieux, who gave up 5 sacks and 500 snaps last year. Will Hernandez, who everybody rags on, who plays the same position, has given up 8 sacks in 5 times the amount of snaps throughout his career.
Right.
So I didn't like gambling on the offense. It's why I wanted to go Slater, because had they not, I know everybody wanted a wide receiver, Devontae Smith, blah, 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 blah. But I knew after they signed Golladay, I said, you have got to make sure you're securing this offensive line. And it's why I was all aboard the Slater train. I'm with them on that, and I hope it works out. And I am going to wait to critique Dave Gettleman's decision until I see the way this team looks week 6, week 7. But you can bet your ass, for a guy that defends Dave Gettleman a lot, if this offensive line sucks this year, Dave Gettleman's going to hear it from me, because I do not think, as of now, he made the right decision. Now, I get the theory that he traded down, and it was a great trade. We said it on draft night. It was a fantastic trade in terms of the value, but at the end of the day, your job this year, first off, his job's on the line, okay? Mm-hmm. And I commend him for thinking long-term, because long-term, that may have been the better decision.
Yep.
Long-term, maybe we get a top 3 pick, if the Bears are really bad, who knows? But for this year, your eggs are all in the Daniel Jones basket.
Yep. And
you needed to do whatever you could to make sure you gave Daniel Jones what he needed to be able to evaluate him as a quarterback. And here we are, Baddog, going into game 1. Yes, the weapons are much better. You went from Darius Slayton to Kenny Golladay as your number 1 option. You got Saquon Barkley back. You got Kadarius Toney, who's going to be a nice little weapon for him. There's no denying it. The weapons are improved. But we're going into game 1 right now, and we don't even know what the hell our starting offensive line is going to look like 10 days before the start of the season. So it is why, and I know a lot of people don't like it when I pound the bell for an offensive lineman in the first round. Guess what? I'm going to pound the bell again next year, because I don't have full faith that we're going to have the answer to this offensive line going forward after this year. And all Gettleman did, in my opinion, and again, I'm praying I'm wrong, is he kicked the can down the curb for the following year, because next year we're just going to have to draft an early offensive lineman. I thought it was the year to address it. And for people that'll say, well, he had Matt Parrott on the right side, you could have put Slater at the guard, and if Matt Parrott struggled, Slater could have easily transferred over to the right tackle. Slater's playing left tackle right now for the Chargers. I know people talked about his arms. Nobody was talking about Penei Sewell's arms. They had the same arm length. So I think Slater was the right pick. I love the trade value. But for this year, especially the way this line looks right now going in, it's certainly questionable passing up Rashawn Slater.
Yep, I agree. I knew you're the offense. You're the hog expert. That's why I wanted to get your opinion on it. The hog. I mean, it's the bad dreaming about offensive linemen.
I dream about offensive linemen. And like I said, he has made an effort. It's just like Nate Solder hasn't worked. Nate Solder was a bad signing. Zeitler ended up being a stopgap. Nick Gates worked. Nick Gates was really – and Andrew Thomas is still in question. I guess Matt Parrott's still in question. But we have not gotten a solidified offensive lineman outside of Nick Gates, I guess, so far since he's been the general manager. And hopefully Will Hernandez takes a big step this year as well. He's looked really good so far.
Hopefully. Tutto, grazie. I really appreciate it, my man. Really, really, really. All Italians are anti-Eagles for life. The only way we could calm down is to find Eagle fans anywhere and give them facial reconstruction for free. Tuto's a rugby guy, so Tuto doesn't mind mixing it up a little bit, Anyway, got time. Brilly, my man. He says, first game back in the Superdome against us, I got ticks. Nice.
That game's not going to be at the Superdome.
No, it's not. Oh,
Dan,
shit. I hope I didn't
that was
lose
the
these.
first quarter of the season. They're not going to be at the Superdome.
I just lost all this shit. The stream yard is not going back at all, which I'm having a real problem with the stream yard thing. Or did I see that? Maybe I saw that. Where are we? I don't think there was anyone in between there. And I just lost my chat. Jesus Christ. I really do not like, I really don't like StreamYard because they go by so fast and I don't want to miss anybody here. And I'm sure I am. So if I do, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I wanted to pull this up. James, my man, thank you so much. Brilly, man. Really appreciate it. He says, if we win, it's going to be because of the defense. That I definitely agree with. First few games anyway.
I think all year. I mean, obviously we hope our offense progresses. The first 2 games, it's going to be all defense. But even when our offense hits our stride this year, I still think the defense is the strength of this team.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I'm hoping this year, you have to think with all the money we spent on the offense and the draft capital we spent on the offense, you have to think the offense is going to be better. It can't be worse. We were 31st last year. We averaged 17 points a game. So the offense is going to be better. The question is it going to be better enough? Is it going to, are we going to go from 31 to 27? Are we going to go from 31 to 25? Or are we going to go from 31 to league average? And for us to get to league average, that offensive line has to be
definitely
at least mediocre.
Yes. Or just below average.
Yeah.
Blue 77. I really appreciate it, my man. Thank you, brother. Really. Hey, fellas, feeling better? Worse, same than he did about the offensive line situation a month ago. I think we kind of just answered that. I know he sent that like when we were talking about.
I don't know how you can feel. I don't know how you can feel better.
I definitely don't feel better. Feel about the same. It's still a huge question mark.
I do think we need to calm down a little bit in terms of Andrew Thomas. It was a preseason game, and I'm going to wait to really evaluate him until the regular season. I know he looked really bad. It was as bad as probably he's ever looked in that preseason game. The way that I tried to, I guess, try to think optimistically with it was he's got a new offensive line coach. He's teaching him a lot of new things, new techniques, yada, 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 with Rob Sale. And maybe he's thinking more so than reacting in the preseason games, trying to get that down. That's what I'm hoping for. Because Andrew Thomas did look like a much better offensive lineman in the second half last year. So we'll see come game time. He's going up against some of the best pass rushers in football. Yes, I definitely see why New York Giants fans are a little bit more nervous than they thought they were going to be with him going into the year. I'm still going to be pretty confident with him going in. But Matt Parrott, I don't know what the hell we got there. I will say I'm much more confident, and I thought I was going to be confident with Will Hernandez going into the year. Yeah. I'm even more confident with him.
Me too.
He looks like a much better player. So I guess from a positive standpoint, Will Hernandez. And as crazy as it may sound, Baddog, I think it's almost addition by subtraction with Shane Lemieux. Because I am not a Shane Lemieux fan. Shane Lemieux last year was the worst pass
bad
in football. And I just don't think we're going to have a downgrade. I think it could only be an upgrade with whatever we do at that guard spot. Or at least match Shane Lemieux. So
agreed.
So in a way, that may end up being a positive. You have to figure Nick Gates, if he stays at the center year 2, more continuity, more familiarity on the line, he should be a little bit better. Yep. So if you want to look at the positives, but Andrew Thomas, of course, has everybody very nervous. And Matt Parrott, to me, is and maybe Nate Soldier can step in and do okay, but Matt Parrott, to me, is by far the biggest X factor. Thomas and Parrott, both tackles, are the biggest X factors on this defense this year.
Yeah, offense.
Yeah, offense, really. Yeah.
Tuto, thank you so much. Grazie Paisano. He says, what do you call an ugly bird with a large behind without any feathers in the cage of the zoo? The Eagles whooped by the Giants. I hope so, Tuto. Tuto hates the Eagles, and I love it.
What's up there, Tuto?
Not only is he Italian, which makes him awesome, he hates the Eagles more than anybody could possibly hate him. Roldy, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Really, brother. He says, Chris, Dave Gettleman doesn't get a credit for effect. He's a GM, and his job is not only to draft the offensive line, but get it right.
I agree.
That's why he gets the big bucks.
I agree. I'm going to tell you, I just told you, by week 6, week 7, if this offensive line sucks, I'm going to be very tough on Dave Gettleman. Believe me, Roldy. Don't expect me to come out 2 weeks because I need time to evaluate this team. I know the offense is going to come out struggling. That's me personally. I know some fans may want me to flip out after the first 2 games. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait 5 or 6 weeks. But if this offense is not clicking by then, Dave Gettleman's going to hear from me. Believe me.
Yeah. He'll be hearing from every Giants fan at that point.
Yeah.
Even the ones that have been on his side. I don't think you could be
Yeah.
on their side after that. LA Lou, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really, really, my good man. He says, glad the season's here. I've become a sympathetic Giants fan since I started following used tos. You should consider having me Skype in or something the week before the Rams game. Would love to converse with you. I think we should start. I think we should try to do that.
We can. Why not?
You know, like this year, maybe we could try to get somebody in this show, like somebody that we play during the week.
Maybe have like I don't want it to be like a constant calling because
right.
It's out of control, but maybe like two before the show, we have 2 assigned people that are going to video in and talk to us for 15 minutes. I like that.
Right. Yeah. That'd be cool. Jay, man, thank you so much, brother. Really, really, really appreciate you, my man. He says, all Gettleman did to address the old line was add mediocre and more mediocre players. Should have gotten Slater. It's more glaring now after you watch how bad the offensive line was against the Patriots. And there was a big question mark anyway, but listen, I'm always a defensive guy, you know that, but I certainly had no problem with them going with Rashawn Slater. I would have been perfectly fine with that. I know this offensive line is a major question, and it's going to be hard for Daniel Jones to succeed with that. He's not an elite quarterback. He'll never be an elite quarterback. So he's going to need a good offensive line. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Deshaun Watson. He can't survive getting killed back there. Just get him an average offensive line. I think he'd be a good quarterback.
And that's what we got to hope for this year. It's not impossible, as doom is gloom we are, and I would have taken Rashawn Slater. It's not impossible that this line could be close to league average, but they need those tackles to take a major step up. To his point, I agree with you. They should have addressed it in the draft, but it's over now. They didn't. They chose to trust their young players that they drafted in 2020 to grow. So being in the situation we are now, I am happy they did what they did. They absolutely needed to go out there and address it. You brought in a guy with 51 starts that could play on the interior and score. I thought that
brought in a former first-round pick as well
with Billy Price. I thought that was a good pickup, and I actually really liked the other pickup as well. So when we brought in Ben Bredesen, who, like I said, he was the 4th-rated guard in the 2020 draft, couldn't get on the field with the Ravens. So that's a guy that could potentially end up being a starter for the New York Giants, if not this year, down the line. He's still under a very cost-effective contract for 2 more years after this year. So at a bare minimum, he's going to provide his valuable depth. So I like the moves that they made, but to his point, I agree. I would have addressed it in the draft, but we didn't.
Yeah, I completely agree too. Tutto Grazzi, I really appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much, brother. What do you call a Philadelphia Eagles player at the Super Bowl? Shining shoes. To make 11. Yo, go get your Stein box, Tommy. Go get your Stein box. John, thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Brilly, 10 years, boys. This organization hasn't fixed the offensive line 10 freaking years. Embarrassing. Matt Parrott, get the fuck out of here.
John, last time you sent a similar message, I'm going to tell you again. Every night, John, I go to bed dreaming about 350-pound men. I don't dream about naked women because I am a Giant fan, and I am obsessed with fixing this offensive line for the last 10 years, and it hasn't gotten anywhere near it, John. And I'm with you. I'm just as frustrated as everybody else. I try to remain calm, cool, and collected, but it pisses me off. I'll be the first to say it. This offensive line has been a disgrace. And, John, I'm going to tell you right now, next year I'm going to be ringing the bell again to take an offensive lineman in the first round. And it's frustrating. I don't want that. People may think, oh, Chris, he loves. No, I don't want to have to take a first-round offensive lineman. But I know to be able to take those glitzy picks, the linebackers, the edge rushers, the wide receivers, we need a foundation. We haven't had a foundation for a decade. Yeah. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating, man. I'm with you.
It is frustrating. Yeah, Chris has to remain calm, cool, and collected because I'm the hothead of the two. So we can't have 2 hotheads. We gotta have one guy that calms me down. You know me. I get pissed real easy. I fly off the handle. And I'm probably it's gonna happen. Yeah. Gettleman, like I said, I've also defended Gettleman. Not really. I haven't gotten on his case, but I've definitely defended him. I've definitely said, let's give him a chance. He came in a bad situation, but now it's been 4 years. There is no more defending this guy. And I even said at the end of last year, if he wanted to fire, I'm not going to get mad that if they fired him last year. So, I'm done defending him. It's put up or shut up.
Yeah. I have my doubts going into the year about the line, but I'm going to be fair because at the end of the day, Baddog, we always say it. We're fans. We like to, I guess, think we're somewhat educated fans, and we obviously think we have good opinions, but you're not always going to be right. And I think in this instance, I'm hoping I'm wrong. And Joe Judge, by the way, I want to continue to say this. Joe Judge, we talk about that they always work collaboratively. Every Giant fan says that. Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman, they work collaboratively. They're in agreement with what they do.
Yep.
Well, Joe Judge was in agreement with this decision as well.
Yep.
We all think Joe Judge is a smart guy that's good at evaluating talent. So I am going to give Gettleman and Judge the benefit of the doubt until they prove that they were wrong. I'm going to give them 5, 6, 7 weeks. And if this offensive line is god-awful, heads are going to roll. And that's all there is to it. But I'm hoping they made the right decision.
Some heads are going to roll. A little priest there. Fix the O-line. There's a great name. Brilly. Thomas handled Chase Young. He'll be fine. Andrew Thomas is he's not nearly as bad as he showed in that Patriots game.
I'm going to continue to say, and I saw Ravon Anderson. It was a great point. He said, too many coaches in his ear. He's absolutely right. He's had 3 offensive line coaches now, and he's only had 16 games in the NFL. And I do think he's overthinking things, especially in the preseason games. He's probably really trying to emphasize the new technique, and he's not really reacting. He may get off to a little bit of a slow start. I'm not going to say he won't, but long-term, I'm still confident in Andrew Thomas. I have not – a half of a preseason game has not deterred my confidence. Like I said, the second half, he was improving. In preseason, before that, he looked good. In training camp before that, you only heard great things about his growth. He had a really bad second half. He's got to get his head out of his ass, and he's got to react. But I still have confidence in Andrew Thomas long term. Yeah,
and again, I kind of worried about all the coaching because this was screwed up Washington in the early 2000s when Gibbs came back. He had so many coaches. Sometimes, like I said, man, too many chefs spoil the pot. You know what I mean? So maybe Andrew Thomas doesn't need all those guys in his ear. Andrew Thomas just needs to play football the way he knows how to play football. And when he was at Georgia, he was fantastic. So it's there. You don't get picked 4th overall in the draft. You don't get a guy out of the SEC that played left tackle that allowed no quarterback hits on Jake Fromm the entire season in the SEC. And if I'm not mistaken, he allowed 1 sack his entire time at Georgia. Or maybe it was when he went over to left tackle. But it wasn't many. He didn't give him many hits even, let alone sacks. It's there. We saw him improve last year. He's just got to continue to improve, and he'll be fine. Galen, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother. Really, fellow Daniel Negreanu fan. I see him and Daniel Negreanu stream. Saw Nitro Freak and Daniel Negreanu stream. Saw you there.
Yeah.
I saw somebody else. I don't remember who it was. But I'm like, damn, a lot of guys come in here and watch Danny play kid poker. Not really a kid anymore. He's older than me. I sometimes put that in and like, shouldn't you be middle-aged poker by now? You're 47. You're not really a kid anymore. He's funny. Appreciate it, man. He says, what's going on? What are we thinking about Toney? And what week do you think he'll be able to play?
Week 1. I think he's going to be able to play week 1. They've basically said that now for a while. I don't think you're going to get a definitive answer until maybe a day or whenever, like they have to give it to you. They're gonna try to keep their opponent guessing with Denver. He comes from the Bill Belichick school of thought. But Toney was out there today catching passes. He was in full pads. I think they took it slow, much like they did last year with Hernandez when he got the virus. They didn't rush Toney back. They wanted to make sure he was 100%, which isn't great. You wanted him to get chemistry, obviously, with Daniel Jones. But I think he's going to play week 1. Again, like we've said all along, I don't expect him to have a huge role, especially early on, being that he has no chemistry with Jones. But yeah, I think they'll use him in specials. I think they'll give him some, some running plays, and maybe he'll catch a couple of bubble screens in his first game. But I think he'll be out there week 1.
Hopefully. Dre, my man, thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Really. He's just here to remind y'all, Dak is the best quarterback in the division. Those facts. Great show. And I'm out. Well, if you're not still here, or if you are still here, appreciate it. And those are facts. Can't argue.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Can't argue that. That's a fact.
Is it possible, somebody could pass him in 3 years? Yeah, but right now, can't argue that. Dak's throwing away the best quarterback right now.
Yeah, yes, I agree, without a doubt. Darian, thank you so much. Really, man. Hot take, Dex going to be a Pro Bowler and a breakout. Love to see it.
Definitely possible. Definitely possible. We'll see what kind of role he has this year if he gets a lot more snaps. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think he's got a shot.
Yeah. James, my man, thank you. As Louis T would say, double up. Well, I don't know how Louis T does it. Thank you for the double up. I don't know. It's some baby got back reference, man. James, thank you, man. He says, my bad. If we win, it's going to be because of the defense and DJ's legs.
Yeah. I've said that actually in that game. I think that's going to be – I think they have
the X factor.
Yeah, I think they have to attack the middle of the field, and that sucks now that Ingram's probably not going to play, because I thought he was going to be a big factor in that game over the middle as a mismatch, opportunity. Even though the guy can't hold on to the football, but I thought that he could have been an X factor in that game, and Daniel Jones's legs. I thought Daniel Jones's legs could have played a major factor. So I'm in agreement with him on that. I think Jones is going to have to create big plays with his legs.
Yeah, Jones is going to need to use his legs to get the hell away from their pass rush, because it's going to get there. I mean, let's face it. I mean, this is going to be a very tough defensive team, and Daniel Jones, that's a weapon. I mean, his legs are a weapon. So, you don't want him running 10, 15 times a game, but a couple of RPOs, maybe a couple of bootlegs or something, and maybe he gets 4 carries in this game or something, especially if they get down inside the red zone. Maybe that's where he uses his legs. So we'll have to see. I mean, obviously in the preseason game, you're not going to design a run for him. He did run for a first down in that game, but no designed runs. And the interception he threw down there, like Chris and I talked about, you're probably not calling that play in a regular season game. You're just kind of working on things. So hopefully, his legs he's not afraid to use his legs. By the way, we got 550 people in here. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys and girls. Really do appreciate it. 10 days away from kickoff. Can't wait. If you haven't done so, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. That always helps out the stream. Smack the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe to this channel if you haven't. But more importantly, link is in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports. We'll be on his channel for this. Next week, we'll also be over there. Week 1 for the Broncos and the Giants, calling the game on that channel. So make sure you sub up both channels, because then with quick turnaround Thursday night when we play Washington, we'll be back over here. So make sure you subscribe to all channels. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you very much. Matthew, appreciate you. Really, my man. We need to trade for offensive line Pro Bowlers, because we obviously can't draft an offensive line. Your thoughts? I am more pessimistic this year than last year. How about you? I'm more optimistic.
My answer to that is easier said than done. What team voluntarily wants to trade a Pro Bowler offensive lineman? It happens when you have disgruntled offensive linemen from time to time. And plus, they're going to be making a ton of money at that point. I always think, especially with the offensive line, it is very hard to find an established younger guy that you could build with on the offensive line that teams are looking to trade away. Mm-hmm. It's very rare. And when you get him, it's something like Nate Solder, where you overpay for a guy that is not worth what you're paying them when they hit free agency. In terms of trades, if you got a good left tackle in the NFL, Baddog, that is worth its weight in gold.
It's like a pitcher in baseball, man.
It's worth its weight. It's all you can make an argument. I'm not as valuable as a quarterback, but it's damn near close. Like
close. They're blind side protectors, by the second most important person on the offense.
Yeah, if you have a guy, a top 8 or 10 left tackle, that's worth its weight in gold. So teams don't trade those players away. That's why you have to draft them and you have to develop them.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But as far as being more pessimistic this year and last year, no, I'm definitely more optimistic this year. We were in a lot of games last year at 6-10. We played a lot. We had a very tough schedule. They had no preseason, had nothing to go on. It was all brand new to them, and they still found a way to win 6 games and could have definitely won 7 if Evan Ingham caught the ball against Philadelphia. They have an easier schedule. They have a year under the belt. They added Galladay. They added Adoree Jackson. They get Barkley back the whole season, hopefully. I'm definitely more optimistic. Even with the offensive line questions, I'm still more optimistic about this season.
There's no reason to not be more optimistic this year. There's just I think what it is, Baddog, and like you just said, you look at the offense. Let's just exclude the offensive line right now. Jones should be better just from being in the same scheme for a second year. Getting Barkley back changes the offense, and he got his number one option now in Galladay with Toney. That alone should make the offense better, and the defense should be better. They added Adoree Jackson. Same thing with the offense and the defense. Second year in the scheme. You think about Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan came here like 15 days before the start of the regular season last year. And he was
healthy Xavier McKinney, healthy Lorenzo Carter.
Get Carter back. The defense should be better. That should only help the offense. There's still definitely reasons to be optimistic. But in an offseason where the Giants put all the cards on the table, when you spent the way that they did, it's discouraging to see the team that we have and say this offensive line could screw this up.
Yep.
And that's the part that I guess worries Giant fans going in.
And it makes sense. It's a huge question. Yuri, man, thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate you, brother. He says, part of me wanted to pursue Trey Turner, but I understand the recent injury and they believed Lemieux. The Patriots game is a wake-up call. It's Belichick's defense. It will prep us for Denver and Washington. I also respect the fact that you spell Belichick right because most people don't. So I always appreciate that, Yuri. But, yeah, I mean, Again, it's a half of football. It's one reason I clamored for these guys to be out there for more reps in the preseason. But again, I wasn't going to get too high or too low. It's worrisome, but I'm not panicking. It's preseason. Like Chris said, if we're 4 weeks into the season, 5 weeks, and these are still the same problems, then I'm going to be pissed.
That's the problem, man. Yeah.
You know, but right now,
that's my mark. I think it's 5 weeks. It's the first 2 weeks. I think it's completely understandable for the offense to struggle.
Because the defense on top.
Yeah. The defenses they're playing and the fact that they've had no continuity with any of the weapons. I think that's understandable. But weeks 3, 4, and 5, if this offense isn't starting to go, there's problems. And we'll see. A lot of pressure on the Giants.
Yeah. Slick back, my man. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate you. I love your thumbnail picture, too. I've always loved that. Pimp. Slick back. That's Snoop Dogg. Looks like Snoop Dogg. It's hard to tell, but
hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. He says, at the end of the year, I either want Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge here both gone. I'm not a fan of forcing Judge and a new GM. If it doesn't work, clean house. That's a mistake that they made with Shermer and Gettleman, or not Sherman, I'm sorry, McAdoo and Reese. When they fired Coughlin, they should have definitely got rid of Reese.
Gettleman. They kept the GM. They fired the coach and kept the GM. They didn't have a.
Yeah, that's right. He was here for a year, and they did that. But God, I hope they don't happen. I don't want to start over, man. We've been over for 4 years.
I'm with him. I'm with him, man. I don't want to fire Judge, but I could understand that point of view if they completely bomb this year. To not force a head coach on a GM, but I don't want to see that. I want Judge.
And I think you'd rather have your GM come in and just have free reign and not force, like you said, you don't want to force Judge and a new GM. Let the GM do what he wants to do.
Happen, Baddog, and I know, and I'm not even saying this is the right decision because, quite frankly, I don't think it is. If it does not work this year, in my humble opinion, if you ask me right now what's going to happen, they're going to hire from within. They'll get rid of Gettleman and they'll hire somebody from within to be the GM because they want to put their trust in Joe Judge. They want him to be the long-term answer, and they'll have a guy that's on this that's on the same timeline as Judge. That's what I think they will do.
Yeah. By the way, Aaron Williams, thank you, buddy. He says, I found your channel from the collaboration stream. I'm a Cowboys fan. Just want to say I love that you are real and like your content, brother. Good luck to you. Hey, thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. I try to be as real as I possibly can. I didn't pick us to go 12-5 like the Eagles fan. That was a great stream. I love that, man. Duran, thank you so much. Really appreciate you, man. He says, do you think defensive play will suffer quite a bit if they have to consistently bail out this potentially slow offense?
Of course.
I don't know if they'll suffer quite a bit. They'll suffer, though. I mean, but they'll keep the team in games, but eventually it's going to wear on them. You saw it last year where they just get worn out and they give up. It was happening a lot at the end of the games where they would just give up an easy drive because they've been on the field for 38 minutes. So I think you're going to have to keep them in the game, but you can't expect this team to be, if the offense can't do anything and they score 2 or 3 field goals, they're winning 9-3 or 9-6. Can't expect the defense to hold teams to under 10 points every game.
We have to be better in the red zone this year.
Definitely.
That to me is the biggest key on offense. 31st in the league last year in red zone offense. That can't happen. Dan Jones only had 5 red zone touchdowns. We got to be much better. And I really think we're going to beat Denver. I know a lot of people are down on the offensive line, rightfully so. I look at Denver's weaknesses, and I think our defense can exploit it. We talk about our offensive line, how they have questions. Their offensive line has questions too. And Teddy Bridgewater, to me, is not the type of guy that is going to be able to destroy our defense. We have a very good secondary. I know they have good weapons, but I think our defense could keep them in check. And then, like I said, on the other side, as long as we hold on to the football, I do think we can establish a run against that Denver Broncos defense. Last year, they surrendered 4.8 yards per carry. Like I said, I think it was 28th in the league. With the legs of Daniel Jones as well, it's not going to be a game where we're going to air it out a ton, but I do think we'll be able to run the ball on them, and I think we'll be able to get pressure on Teddy Bridgewater, and I do think we can beat them.
Agreed. And I think the fact that it's in MetLife and not a mile high definitely favors us. Yeah. Somebody said in my video today, how come everybody is like overlooking, they're either overrating Washington or they're underrating Washington and overrating Denver. Why does everybody think we're just going to go 1-1? And I said, I think the big thing for a lot of Giants fans is we do play one of those games at home against Denver. And I think that's why we're confident. And then Washington, we go to Washington, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And let's face it, man, Washington is due to beat us. It doesn't mean they will, but they are due. We have beaten them senseless for years, and it's going to happen eventually, but hopefully not this year. Hopefully not in game 2. Hopefully we get off to a really good start, win that first divisional game, and then we'll see. Washington, when I was looking at their schedule last night, they have 5 division games, the last 5 games of the season. They got the Cowboys and Eagles twice, and us. It's crazy.
We play 3 out of 4 of the last 4.
But they play the last 5 are against the division.
That's insane.
That's insane, right? Tutto, grazie, brother, grazie, brilli. What's the best part about dating an a female Eagles fan? They all lay down without asking, and they always give up in the fourth quarter. Tutto. That is a plus. And that sounds about right for a female Eagles fan. That sounds about right. I think so. That sounds right. Nader, thank you, man. Really appreciate you, brother. Really. Sorry, guys, for the late arrival. You don't ever need to apologize for being late or not being here. Life happens, man. Life happens. Just got back from my son's practice. Is this true? Is Shane Lemieux hurt with a partial tear of his patella tendon? Also, did Andrew Thomas get benched today? So I don't think Thomas got benched. I think they were shuffling the offensive line to see what they could do. Try to work these newer guys in there. I don't know if I would say he got benched, but yeah, I don't think he was a part of practice. And I don't know if Lemieux, did he have a partial tear? I just knew he had a knee injury. I didn't hear it was a partial tear.
Partial tear. Nader, and like Baddog said, never apologize for coming late. But I think it was a partial tear to the patellar tendon, like he said. And they're seeing whether or not he could play through it. We'll see. As far as Andrew Thomas goes, there were people that said that they started Solder. Like Baddog said, this entire preseason, they've been giving random starters rest days. And I think that's what Judge did today. I don't expect Nate Solder to be starting on the left side first game.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe, if Andrew Thomas is awful, maybe you see Andrew Thomas try to the right side. I hope not. I don't want to repeat of Eric Flowers.
Andrew Thomas is going to be left tackle opening day, I think.
No. I'm saying if he struggles for a few games. Yeah. I don't want to see that happen where he struggles for the first month. They're like, let's try him on the right side or get benched. That would kill his confidence. So hopefully, let's just hope Andrew Thomas figures it out. And it's going to be tough. He's got the first 2 games are no joke with the defenses we play. So get the guys some help. They got to figure it out. That's part of the reason I wanted them to play so much of the preseason, because they work off each other. Like sometimes it's not Andrew Thomas's fault that he gets beat. Maybe the guard doesn't pick up the inside guy. Maybe Andrew Thomas's job is to kick outside and the inside guy gets there, or vice versa. Maybe he does. Sometimes he does whiff. And the guys that beat him outside, he whiffed on. But you never know. Sometimes it is the guard's problem. Sometimes when the guard gets beat, it's a tackle's problem. It depends on the blocking teams, which is things we don't know. So we can sit there and go, oh, God, he got beat clean. He sucks. But how do you know that was his assignment? How do you know somebody else didn't miss? Because we don't know what the hell blocking schemes are called. We're just watching it, which is why I always say I'm not an analyst, because I don't know. I just go, God, he sucks because I missed that. But I'm not considering everything that went into the play.
Well, you don't get an old 22. You don't get an old 22 look when you're watching a game on TV. So,
right. Card Coach, man, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that, brother. Brilly, Card Coach. Welcome to the Dog Pound. Dog Pound, you know what to do. Welcome the Card Coach into the Dog Pound. Let's go, baby. Thank you so much, my man. Really appreciate that. Darian P, Brilly. How many points Cowboys losing by opening night?
I'll go 10.
I'll say 7.
I'll go
37-30. Bucks.
I'll go 31-21. Either 34-24 or 31-21. I'll go 31-21. I think Tampa's got a good defense. I think 31-21. Tampa.
I think we're going to bet the over in that one.
Yeah, I would guess the over is going to be right around what I just said, around 51-52.
I'll take the over. I'll lose because I always do, but I'll take it. Well, hopefully I win on Saturday, then I can. Oh no, Saturday ain't gonna. Yeah, no, this weekend's college football. Simon, thank you, brother. Brilly. What up, my guys? Only big loss on offense was Zeitler. Agreed. Simon was in there representing the Giants last night.
Yeah, no, he's right. That is the only big loss, but it's an offense that was ranked 31 last year.
Right.
But we did get gains. We got Barkley back, and that's going to help a lot.
Definitely. Connor, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Really, in my opinion, keep DJ even if we suck. Use 2 picks on the offensive line. That's possible too.
I'm not even going to say that I think that's a crazy idea because I personally don't. But I think it's unrealistic because I think if we're horrible,
You're going to need a quarterback.
The
And the GM is going to be gone.
The GM is going to be gone, and the new GM will take a quarterback.
Yeah. Bryce, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Brilly, brother. Chris knows about this. My idea is Baddog for tight end for the Giants. I'm not quite tall enough for that. It's 6 foot, barely 6 foot. Not big enough. 6 foot, 175 pounds. Ain't getting that. Maybe corner. That's a good cornerback size. Maybe a running back. I'm a little tall. I should weigh a little bit more. I should be about 195 to be a back. Maybe a wide receiver. I'm bigger than Devontae Smith. I'm not fast anymore, though. I can't run like I used to.
I don't.
And I'm 45. It's probably not going to happen. These guys are pulling their hamstrings. I can only imagine what the hell would happen to mine. I'd be in the ice bath every day. After every play, I'd be in the ice bath. Was that a Happy Meal you just moved?
No, this is it's like a, I don't know.
Okay. I saw the top and I said, Chris got a Happy Meal. What was it? Construction worker Saban. Brilly. Thanks so much. He says, I'm a friend of orphanage builder DeGrom. University of Georgia is poverty as you know what. And obviously DeGrom can't be here tonight because he's beating the hell out of Javi Baez for being an idiot. So obviously that's what happens. What a Javi Baez. What a moron, man. Let's go. I've been here 2 weeks. 3 weeks. Let me go after the fan base. This is smart.
Javi Baez is an idiot. This was I was like trying to think where is he coming from? The only thing that made, and he's wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's completely wrong. Because fans, they never say anything when you cheer them, but they complain when you boo them. I obviously can understand a player being frustrated about it, but you never go to the
Don't
press.
take on the fan base.
You never take on the fan base. But
piss me off as a fan. That's why I made the rant.
It made any sense to me as to he's coming from Chicago, the Cubs, the lovable losers.
Yeah, they don't ever
their
boo.
fans don't boo anybody.
That's why they don't ever win. There's no pressure to get better.
You can strike out 200 times in a row if you're Javi Baez with the Cubs, and they're not going to boo you. And now he's coming to New York, and it's literally the complete opposite. You strike out twice in a row, you're going to get booed. And I think that had something to do with it, but hopefully it's a lesson learned not to do that again. Don't
be a bitch. Just take it. You're a professional ball player. Like I said, figuratively on YouTube, I get booed all the time. I don't make $10 million a year. You can throw stuff at me if I make that kind of money.
Listen, as long as it's not a personal attack, there's no reason he has any right to complain.
Exactly.
If somebody says something about his wife, his kid, that's different.
Right. But that is different.
If it's just people booing you, that's what you're talking about, you're completely in the wrong.
Roldy, thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Really. Honestly, I think the offensive line is going to be good. My concern is Jones. We have no choice but to beat the Broncos because if we lose, it's going to mess with our heads. I'm going to tell you this, Roldy. If the offensive line good, Daniel Jones is going to be good.
I have a lot more confidence in Jones than the offensive line.
I agree too.
Yeah, I have a lot more confidence. I'm not saying Jones is going to be a superstar, but if Jones has a good offensive line,
he's going to be good.
Yeah, I think he'll be good enough to win football
games. I agree. New York Giants 26. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Really. I like Colin Johnson. He's new favorite. He's 6'6". I liked Colin Johnson in the draft, late in the draft. When I saw we got Colin Johnson, I was like, you know what? That's good. That's another big target in the red zone. I liked him at Texas a lot. He's not a fast guy at all. He's had injury problems, which is kind of why his draft stock fell. He's a big target. He was good at the University of Texas. I liked it. I said there's nothing wrong with adding a Colin Johnson, so I was happy with that because I did like him out of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he may turn out to be Ramses Barden. He may turn out to be nothing, but I mean, we got him for nothing. And last year, actually, if you look at his numbers, and obviously I don't watch Jaguar games, some of his highlights look good. Guy averaged over 15 yards a catch. He had almost 300 yards and 18 catches.
Yep.
And he had 2 touchdowns. So he's clearly a guy that I think could at least help in the red zone and definitely fits this scheme. You think about the Garrett scheme, you want tall guys on the outside for jump balls. That's why we brought in Galladay. So I think it was a really nice pickup. But the guy I really liked, and I saw you got a super chat about it, so we'll talk about it in a bit, but was Quincy Roche. But we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raw Rebel, thank you, my man. Really appreciate you, brother. He says, I saw you on Louis T yesterday, Bad Dog, and I'm starting to realize that Eagles fans are just as delusional as Cowboy fans.
They're more delusional.
They're more delusional. They're not on this planet, Raw Rebel. They're not. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. That's why I needle them. 12-5. 12-5. It was funny. He started. So LB was like, I think he had him win their first 4 games, and Louis T is like, "You just want me to put down 17-0?"
Hold on.
That was like the best line of the night.
I am going to look at this Eagles schedule right now, and I am going to try to rationalize where he's coming from. All right, I'm going to put myself in homer mode for the Eagles. Eagles-Falcons. I could rationalize if I was an Eagles fan that we could win that game.
I said the Eagles would win that game.
I could see it. It's in Atlanta, but the Falcons stink. So
I think the Eagles will win.
I'll give you that win. I don't care if it's at home. You're not beating the 49ers.
No way.
Are a much better team. That's a loss. You're not beating Dallas in Dallas, in my opinion. That's a loss. You're sure as hell not beating the Chiefs.
Nope.
That's a loss. I will go extreme Eagles homer because I don't think they're winning this game. I'll give them the win in Carolina, even though I think Carolina's a better football team.
I think they'll beat Carolina. I did pick them to beat Carolina.
I'll give it to them, even though I shouldn't.
Darnold sucks. No win.
That's 2-3. Bucks is a loss. That's 2-4. I'll give them the win at the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are very good.
I think the Raiders are going to beat them.
They could. I could see them losing all these games, but I'll give them that win. That's 3-4. I'll give them the win against the Lions. That's 4-4. I'm not giving them the win against the Chargers. That's 4-5. At Denver, I was nice on a couple other games. I'm giving them a loss there. That's 4-6. I'll be super nice and give you the win home against the Saints. 5-6. I'll give you a split against the Giants. 6-7 between those two. Jets 7-7. I'll give you a split against Washington. 8-8. At best, if it's like the extremist of the extremist Eagle homer, the max I could see is 9-8. That's the max. And that's being an extreme homer. The fact that he's got 12-5, he is out of his freaking mind, man.
He has them sweeping the division, I think, except for one loss against Dallas. I think he has a 5-1 in the division.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was good. I love LB. He's great. He's great. It's fun. It's fun. It's all love. I say that all the time, man. Dusk Thunder, thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Really. Quincy Roche is a steal for y'all. One day he might be a beast. I loved that. I loved that pick or that pickup.
I love the Quincy Roche pickup. I said it. I even said it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago that I would have liked him in the 3rd or 4th round, 2 weeks leading up into the draft. And the thing that really stood out for me with him was his. I think he fits our scheme so well. You watch some of his highlights. He's great in coverage. He's very good against the run. He's not like a guy that's gonna, be like a great pass rusher, but he's a guy that can do a lot of things. And I think he's a guy that'll really fit the scheme. And he may get an opportunity to play for the Giants. Not to start, but I could see him having some kind of role with this team. And that was a steal, in my opinion, for the Giants.
Definitely. Michael, my man, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Really, flat out. Boom. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the 5, man. Cruise on. Really, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my man. He says all NFC East fans are delusional. I think all fans are delusional. And we were talking about that. Every year you look at your schedule and you go, we can beat this team. We can beat, and then like a month in, you're like, damn, we suck. It's every fan.
Yeah, no, every fan's delusional. There's just different levels of delusion.
Just want to say hello to my man Boxers Artist. What's going on, boo? How you doing, buddy? Always good to see you, my man, down there in Florida. Good to see you. We go back a long time on YouTube, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Thank you for stopping by. Tutto, grazie, paisano, grazie. Says Toney and Baddog both have a 10 million freak bodyguard, 2-time World Club champion, and you can take it to the bank. Forget about it.
Tutto, my man. What's going on, buddy?
What are you doing? I'm working. I got the show tonight. Yeah. Little Bad Dog making this stuff.
LBD.
No, I'm not watching the Yankees. They're not on tonight. But yes, I was watching the Yankees last time I was working, but they're not on tonight. I'm working with Chris tonight. Talking about the Giants. Let's go Giants. Can you say that? Giants. Teaching them right. Let's go Giants. Can you give me one of these? Give me one of these. Ready? Kevin. Can you go touchdown Saquon? Can't teach you.
There you go. Hopefully you get to say that a lot this week.
Yeah, I hope so too. David, thank you so much, my man. Really, brother. Really appreciate it. Says, good evening, dog. Chris, evening. Stream last night was hilarious. Eagles fans are really delusional. I can barely talk, though. I'm a Jags fan. But you're not delusional. What, buddy? That is me and Mom, yes.
Jag fan, you should be excited, though. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence is half what people say is you.
That's because I was very young back then. Very young back then in that picture. That's why I look different. Sorry if I missed some, guys. I hope I'm not. I'm trying to keep up with the best I can. David, brother, Brilly, but how about Cole last night? 15. Yeah, God, the Yankees needed that one. They needed it. That's what an ace is supposed to do. $314 million performance.
Pencil?
Those are my pencils, yeah.
Are you color something?
Not coloring anything right now, no. Sometimes I got to write down stuff on my notebook. I got to write down names. I got to write down the lineups. Yeah, the Yankees, the Angels. I had to write down the lineup so I know who's coming up the bat. Cruise on, thank you, brother. Brilly. How can anyone have confidence in this offensive line?
Can't. I mean, I could see somebody thinking they're gonna
No, not that.
Get better, but
that pen. Yes, I use that pen. Yeah, I don't know if Cruz on it. They're having confidence in the O line. It's 420 wherever they are. So
yeah, I don't know how you could, and maybe it'll pleasantly surprise us. But I am with you.
I know. And my Giants, man, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. We picked up Niners fans said he was. Hilliard, we picked up. Niners fans said he was heating up.
Yeah, Hilliard, I think he had 18 tackles in preseason. We'll see. He's had a ton of injuries at college at Ohio State. He actually played 6 years in college because of all the injuries that he had. And from everything I've read, most people kind of think he'll probably be a special teamer in the NFL. But we'll see. I really don't see him carving. The other two I could see carving out a role potentially. Colin Johnson, not so much, but there would have to be some injuries. But I could definitely see Roche carving out at least a small role with this team this year. I can't really see it with him. I mean, you got 4 linebackers ahead of him right now.
Yeah.
Martinez, with Crowder, with Ragland, and with Coughlin. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think he might be on special teams, but I don't think he's going to have a role with the defense.
Right. Jay Money, thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Brilly. If our offensive line's bad, how do you expect to beat Denver if you can't block Chubb and Von Miller? Denver also has more weapons on offense. Not really worried about their offense because I think our defense can combat their offense. I think our secondary is one of the best in football. So I like our defense. I like that matchup. But like Chris mentioned earlier, we're going to run the ball. If we're going to beat Denver, it's going to be through running. It's going to be through controlled passing. It's not going to be Daniel Jones launching the ball down the field and throwing 40 to 45 times in the game. If we're going to win, it's going to be because we control the line of scrimmage, because we're able to run the ball. It's because we're able to convert third downs and own time possession and keep the defense fresh.
I'm looking at it right now, Baddog. If there was a weakness to this team, this Denver defense, it is undeniably the run defense. Last year, they surrendered 4.8 yards a carry. That was 29th in the NFL. And we know going into that game, if the Giants are going to win, that's going to be the way they do it. And they're not going to be able to throw in that secondary. So I think they got to go in with a very similar game plan to what they did with Seattle. And you got to pound the rock. If there's one thing our offensive line can do pretty effectively, it's run block. We have to set the tone early and beat them up at the point of attack. But if we do that, I do think we stand a very good chance to win this game. Bridgewater doesn't scare me. I don't think he's going to beat us for big plays. Bridgewater's career high is 15 touchdowns in a season. Yep. With our defense, I don't think they're putting up a ton of points. And if we could run the ball and play mistake-free, which by doing that, you're limiting turnovers. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football when you run. But I think we could stand a very good chance to beat them at home.
I agree. Harry, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, my man. Brilly. My man, he says, good evening, guys. The offensive line has to play better. When the Giants win, or when the Giants are good historically, we had a good offensive line and good running. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. All the Super Bowls that I saw the win, that's exactly how they did it. It was every one of them was good offensive line, great defense, control the clock, run the ball. That's Giants football.
That's how we won last year. You look at the I'm going to pull up the Giants stats right now, but if you look at the Giants wins
watch out, buddy. They're not good anymore. They're not good anymore, no.
All their wins came when they had over 100 yards on the ground.
Yep. The game in Seattle, we had 190 on the ground.
Yeah, like I'm looking right now. Last year, the Giants had obviously 6 wins. In those 6 wins, they surpassed 100 yards on the ground once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5. Every win. All 6
when
wins.
They were on that good streak, Chris, they were rushing for 100 yards every game.
All 6 wins, they had over 100 yards, and they only had over 100 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Kevin,
9 times.
So
when they had over 100 yards, Baddog,
turn it down a little bit.
They were 6-3. And when they didn't rush for over 100 yards, they were 0-7. So to me, it's pretty self-explanatory. if we get over 100 yards against Denver,
Wow.
we got a very good chance to win that football game.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, man. My little bad dog's down here distracted me. We got time. Thank you, brother. Really, really, really appreciate you. My man says, y'all know I'm a huge Miami fan. We didn't get Phillips, but we got Roche. He'll be a solid player for us given the chance.
Well, of course we didn't get Phillips is a first-round pick. I'm not expecting Roche to step in and be a great pass rusher, but I think he could be a nice situational player for the Giants, and maybe carve out a niche as a guy that could be a starter down the line. But he's never going to be like an elite edge rusher.
Card coach says, Bad Dog, I live 420. He's smoking something when he's stronger. Yeah, I don't know what those Eagle fans are. Well, Chris said 85% of the drug use in the United States comes from Philly. And if you watch some of these guys, it's a fact. You can definitely tell that they are on something. I don't know what it is, which is why I got to needle them on a consistent basis. I try to bring them back to reality, but it's impossible. Some are just a lost cause, and you just got to rack it up to whatever. Bryce, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, really. Chris looks like a very happy man.
Until the Giants are playing this year, when they're losing, I'm not happy. But no, generally I try to be happy. I appreciate that, Bruce.
Hopefully, we are very happy this year.
Yeah.
Let's get off to like a 4-0 start.
Yeah.
And so that our fans start talking about the Super Bowl, which is obviously but I'd rather after 4 wins, I'd rather hear we're going to the Super Bowl and being delusional than, damn, we suck, fire everybody.
Right.
I'd rather have that.
Let's get off to a good start.
Remember when we were 1-6 and I made a video saying we're the best team in the NFC East? Everybody thought I was insane. Then what happened? Right. I knew what I was talking about. I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, but can we at least get off to a good start? Can we get over 500 for the first time since 2016? That'd be nice.
Wow, that's insane.
DeGondre Baker back in the house. Thank you. Appreciate you, my man. Really, really. 12-5 is pessimistic. Eagles 17-0. Hurts MVP. And Haskins comeback player of the year. Also, Bad Dog. Gary Sanchez is elite. That moonshot proved it. There he is. He always has to make an appearance.
I agree with him, though. That's why I was so startled when you told me that he picked 12-5, because I'm with you. I think they're going to go 17-0 this year.
Yeah, I agree. Even though they went 0-3 in the preseason. So they obviously didn't do what they thought they were going to do. But I appreciate it, man. Connor, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Really. If Garrett now he's going to be, this is the future of my channel. If Garrett's play calling improves, it helps the line. They all got to work together.
Yeah.
Hey, look at
Yeah, I think the line's going to be better. Just by adding the weapons, we think it's going to be better. But is it going to be good enough? If Andrew Thomas plays the way that he did, and again, we can't truly evaluate it yet because we didn't have our weapons on the field. We didn't have.
Don't play with that, please.
So it's very hard to really evaluate that offensive line.
It's gone. Just leave that alone, please. Don't play with that. Don't play with that. Tutto, grazie, paisano. Really, really, really appreciate it. If any chance any Eagles fans want to say something about the Giants, we'll be at the link on December 26th. Otherwise, shut the hell up. Tutto ain't playing. The Tutto Mafia is no joke.
Oh, they'll kill you.
That's no joke. You know what? I will say this. Brunson said one thing that made me feel good last night. Someone said, you going to because I said I was going to the Giants Eagles, they're like at MetLife. I go, yeah, I'm not going to Philadelphia. I get killed. He goes, not if you were with me. I said, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Not if you were with me. He said, I take care of you. I said, I appreciate you, LB. You may be delusional, but I appreciate the gesture. I love Lord Brunson, man. He's the freaking man. Eds, thank you, brother. Really. Secondary has never played a season together. That's okay. The secondary really doesn't feed off of one another like the offensive line does. They have their own assignments that they're going to do. I think that's fine. Most of the secondary has played together with the exception of Adoree Jackson, who's a massive upgrade over.
I was going to say, Eds, last year Ryan was on the defense. Last year McKinney, he played the last 4 games, but he was there. He was learning with them in practice. So he was there. Peppers obviously was there, and Bradbury was there. The only addition is Adoree Jackson. So, in football, you keep 80% of your secondary with the turnover rate in the sport. That's a pretty good number. I think the secondary will be just fine this year.
Cruise on. Thank you, brother. Really, man. Really appreciate you, my man. Says Barkley needs to stop dancing and hit the hole. What holes? The same holes Wayne Gallman somehow finally played. That I could not agree with more. I scream all the time, Cruz on, and you know this. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. If it's not there, lower your shoulder, get 2 or 3. 2nd and 7 is better than 2nd and 13. He can't think every play is meant to be a touchdown. Just like a batter can't think every pitch is made to be a home run. You're not going to succeed that way. Completely agree. If Wayne Gallman could find his way through the hole, Barkley's got to be more patient instead of kicking it outside. Wait a little bit. If you can't get something, get 2 or 3, but maybe the hole opens up and you're gone. I couldn't agree.
I mean, I agree. And as I've said, and hopefully that'll be the case this year with Barkley. So I'm going to live with it a little bit because that's the type of running back he is. Sometimes it's going to happen, but it'll make up for it with the big home run. But he was excessive with it. You can't do it too much. You're going to have to live with a loss here and there. You did it with Barry Sanders. I'm not saying he is Barry Sanders, but that's the type of running back he is. But I agree, for the most part, a 3-yard gain is very productive in terms of an offense. It opens up your entire playbook. Sometimes he's got to put his head down and he's got to go. And I think part of and maybe I'll be wrong, but my theory with Barkley is his first 2 years with the New York Giants, especially his first year, the second year was kind of banged up. He felt like the team was so bad that he had to take it upon himself and try to hit a home run every time he touched the ball because the defense was god-awful. So now he's got more support. Even if you want to argue that the offense could be bad with the offensive line, the defense is very good. So maybe he rationalizes to himself, I don't need to hit home runs. We just need to move the chains, find ways to score 3 points on a drive, and win football games that way because we have a very good defense. So I'm with you, and that's something he needs to improve on. But I think and hope that he will this year.
I agree. There's our man, LB, right there. Brunson, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Really. Like I said, I don't know if you were here, but I appreciate you got my back if I ever decide to go to Philly. If I ever go to a game in Philly, I'm definitely going to be texting LB going, yo, can you walk me into the parking lot? Can you walk me through? Can you walk me into the stadium, LB? I need you. He says, I love little Baddog. Yeah, he's a trip, man. You know, you got kids.
What's going on, LB?
You got kids, LB. You know how it goes. They're crazy.
You might be crazy with your 12-win prediction, but you always seem like a really nice guy. What's going on?
That's why we love him. He's right there at Philly 500. You gotta love that. Listen, man. Honestly, one thing I can say is there's a lot of really good Eagle fans on YouTube. It's something that I didn't know when I first started. There really wasn't, but there is really a lot of really cool Eagle fans. It's too bad that they root for such a shitty organization, but they're good people. LB's good people. Philly 500's good people. There's a lot of good people in that fan base on YouTube. But God, I hate that team with all my heart and soul. Alien, thank you, brother. Really appreciate you. What up, Baddog and Toney? Baddog has sent you a Yankee Team Method Man shirt. Hell yeah. I appreciate that, man. He says, I appreciate you guys keeping me in tune with all my New York sports teams. Now I live in California. Go New York Giants. I appreciate that, man.
What's going on, Alien, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Freaking love Method Man. The Iron Lung, which is what I call myself when I do those Laker games and I don't end up killing my voice. They're like, how could you do that?
By the way, I don't think I've ever seen, now that I'm thinking about it, because Alien comes into my streams as well. Whoops. I don't think I've ever seen another username where it's just an emoji.
No, I haven't either.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
I guess anybody could do it. Nobody ever thought to do it. I don't know. I was just thinking about it when I saw it. I'm like, I've never seen a username with an emoji.
That's right. Darian, thank you, my man. Really appreciate you. Tay Raglan Coughlin. Which one starts with Blake?
I think they're all going to be used in certain situations, Darian, because I think Raglan's known as more of like a run. He's just a run defender. He's a guy that's in there to stuff the run. Coughlin, they're going to move around the field, but I think Crowder is going to be the guy that probably gets the most out of those three to start the year. He's probably the most well-rounded of those three. But, like I said, Raglan's kind of stronger in terms of strictly run defense. So I think all three of them will see the field, but I would guess Crowder will get the most snaps of the three.
I would agree. I agree with that. LB says, Bad Dog said y'all was winning 10 games. Yes, I'm optimistic. You're delusional. There's a difference. There's a difference between being optimistic and delusional. And I'll be honest, LB, you know this. When Louis T said, I said we're going 10-7, I said, did I really pick us to win that many games? We're all optimistic at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I got to sit 9. I got to sit 9 and 8. Most people probably got the Giants at about 7, it seems like, but I got to sit 9 and we'll see.
But LB, as I mentioned earlier in this stream, the reason I had us winning 10 games is because I picked us to beat Washington until they beat us. Like, I can't pick against us against Washington. That's why. It's the Washington could sweep us this year.
To be fair, you had it splitting with the Eagles.
I did have a split with the
But
Eagles.
I actually, and I know Eagles fans will call me crazy, I have a sweeping the Eagles, and I have a splitting with Washington. So we have the same record in those 4 games.
Yeah, but I have a splitting with Dallas. I had a 4-2 in this
I have a
division.
split with Dallas as well. I was 4-2 in the division.
I think the game that I might have changed, because I think initially I was 9-8. I think the game, maybe I did say we were going to split with Washington initially. I don't know, but yeah, LB, I'm optimistic, man. But 10 and if we don't go 10-7, it wouldn't surprise me, you know. So it is what it is. But I didn't go pick us to go 12-5. I can tell you that. Chef Oz, thank you, brother. Brilly. I appreciate you, my man. He says Caden Smith is the Giants' secret weapon, jack of all trades. Hardcore threat in the paint, always scoring first touchdowns of games. Bet the farm. That was a hell of a catch and a hell of a throw by Daniel Jones. That was the best play of the Giants game, was that pass and that catch by Caden Smith. And I hope Caden Smith is a bigger part of the offense, because I say it all the time. I don't know where he was last year. I felt like the last 4 games, when Ingram was hurt, Jones and Caden Smith had a really nice rapport. Maybe Evan Ingram missing a couple games, although I thought Ingram was going to have a big year, and I thought he was poised to have a big year. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, Chef always bets Caden Smith every
I know.
for the first touchdown. And this year, I think that's a good bet the first game. If Jones is going to throw a touchdown, it could very well be Caden Smith, because he does have very good chemistry with him going back to his rookie year. And I like Caden Smith, man. I want Caden Smith to be here. I like him. I don't think we lose much when we – obviously Ingram's more athletic, but I like Caden Smith. I know he's not going to be a guy that's a mismatch nightmare, but I think he's a damn good tight end, and I think he's going to be a part of the future of this team.
I thought Caden Smith would be so good because Witten wasn't athletic or fast. And look at the career Witten had with Jason Garrett. And I'm thinking to myself, God, if he can do that, if Caden Smith can be half of what Witten was, huge success. Maybe gets a chance this year. Well, they do have Kyle Rudolph, so we'll
he's a good blocker. I mean, that's what Caden Smith was known for. That's why he got drafted. He was known that was kind of his strength. So, and we used him as an H-back. He was basically just strictly a blocking tight end last year for us. But he's got chemistry with Jones. He can catch the football if you get it to him.
I agree. Anthony, thank you, my man. Appreciate you, brother. Brilly. I love how y'all are realists, not biased with your team. Love the streams. Can't wait for the season opener. 27-23 G-Men, baby. Let's go.
I'm going to agree with the win. I don't think the game will be that high scoring. I think you got 2 good defenses. I'm thinking 17-14, 2017 type game.
Whatever. Heart attack win is better than a heart attack loss.
Get a W. Just get a W.
Just get a W. No matter how ugly, just a W. All W's are pretty in that win column. We haven't had a lot of them in the last 4 years, so we'll take what we can get. That game in Seattle was about as ugly as you could get. That was the highlight of our season.
Yeah.
So we'll take those all day. Tutto! Grazie. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate it. He says, we all Sicilians own the city of Philly, even if it stinks so bad. All the families. Link, SRT, Post PPD, South Philly, and all untouchables. I told you, Tutto's part of the mafia.
Yeah.
I think so.
He'll put you. You'll be sleeping with.
Don't mess. He said the smallest guy hangs out with a 6'2", 235. So they don't mess around.
I am shocked, and I'm going to explain why I'm shocked at this super chat by Eds. But go ahead and read it.
Ed's Brilly. Gut feeling is Gettleman the GM in 2022.
Yeah, I think that's a statement, not a question. He's saying my gut feeling is Gettleman's the GM in 2022.
Oh.
And the reason, if that is, I don't know if that's a question or I don't know if that's a statement. If that is a statement, the reason I'm surprised that Ed said that is because
he hates Gettleman.
It's nothing to do with hating Gettleman. It seems like he's down on the team this year. And I'm going to tell you this right now, Eds. If the team does and I don't know what your record prediction is. I'm assuming it's not very high based on the things that you say. If the Giants don't win at least 9 games, in my opinion, Gettleman's not keeping his job. Maybe 8. So you must have them winning at least 8 or 9 games. If they win 7 games, Gettleman's gone. I can't see it, him keeping his job if the team wins 6, 7 games this year. So, it's a question. Well, there's my answer, Eds. If the Giants finish 9 wins or better, I think he keeps his job. If the Giants have a winning record, they have a 3-game improvement, and Jones shows a little bit of growth, yeah, I think Gettleman keeps his job. But anything under that, I doubt it. I don't think he would keep his job.
And I picked us to go 10-7, so my gut feeling is yes.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm picking us to go 10-7. Yes, he keeps his job, And the Bears are terrible, and we get a really high pick, and then we roll, baby. We either get a really good star or we trade back and we get tons of draft capital. Wouldn't it be great if we are 9-8 or 10-7 and the Bears are picking like third or second and someone wants that quarterback and we get a boatload and we can really fix the offensive line in that draft next year?
I think that's to me, heaven, and I'm going to be realistic. To me, heaven is the Giants make the playoffs this year. They grow, they win the 10 wins, they win the division. Not obviously Super Bowl's heaven, but realistically speaking, and the Bears suck. We get a top 5 pick. Jones grows as a quarterback.
Yep.
We get to keep said quarterback. And like you just said, somebody wants to trade up to pick number 3 or 4 that we have from the Bears, and we get the 8th pick. We get a future first. We get a second round, something like that. A team that's desperate for a quarterback comes up and gets them, and we get all those draft assets, and we just load the hell up on that offensive line and maybe get an edge rusher as well. That, to me, is heaven. I think that's how you fill out the rest of this football team.
Agreed. Avery, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Really, brother. Thanks, guys. I got Henry number 1, Saquon number 2 in my fantasy football league. Going New York Giants. Can I join your league? How the hell does somebody get both of those guys? Can I join?
I did a 12-teamer today, and I couldn't believe what I ended up with. My first 2 picks in a 12-teamer, I got it right here. Hold on. I got Derrick Henry at 9, and I got Ezekiel Elliott on the way back.
Yeah, they were long gone by the time we got there. Of course, we have keepers, so there was no Dalvin Cook. A few of those guys are gone. We ended up with Antonio Gibson and Josh Jacobs. We got them in the 2nd and 3rd round. We took Mahomes with our first pick because, again, we have a 2 quarterback league. Oh, I couldn't believe we got Baker Mayfield like the 10th round. I couldn't believe in that league Baker fell that far. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Eds, thank you, my man. You didn't have to super chat again, man. I really appreciate it, brother. Really. Obviously, you said that was a question. Irish, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Really. Bad Dog Chris, another great night with Giants fans. Is the Giants-Eagles pregame party still at Reds? If so, what time? Go Giants, go Big Blue, 10-7. It would be. It'd be the night before, though. We always go the night before, stay there. That way we ain't got to travel the next day since it's 1 o'clock game. We like to get to the parking lot like 9, 10 in the morning.
And this year, and yeah, exactly what you just said. It'll be the night before, and hopefully you can come by for the night before. I'm trying to find it. I took a picture on my laptop, so I can't show it. But this year, it's going to be cool, and I'll show it on my channel. I got in touch with a guy. We're going to organize a tailgate, and we got to provide the food, but everything else is going to be completely taken care of. And we're going to have a tailgate, and it's going to be awesome. TVs and everything. So
that is awesome. Man. See, Chris has connections. That's good.
I got connections.
Good to have connections. My connections are in a different facet, but it's always good to have connections. John, thank you, brother. Brilliant. Hey, guys, hope you're okay. From Ida Heard, my aunt who lives in Long Island, she is still flooded. I can see Gates being moved outside with us signing 3 offensive linemen to give DJ time to throw. I think Dave Gettleman is nervous. He should be after that performance against the Patriots. Yeah, anybody in New York City, I don't know how bad you got it, Chris. It rained like crazy, but it does not flood up here. We're not near the water. I saw that down there in the city because one of my coworkers' sons lives down there, and that was insane. The subway was flooded, like everything was flooded. That is insane. So hopefully, you guys get out of that flood. The rain has been absolutely relentless up here in the Northeast this year. It's crazy, but I didn't realize that. I mean, I get to hear it all night, just rain. I didn't realize you guys got it that bad down there.
Yeah, it was bad. Thankfully, I don't live near the water on Long Island, but parts of Long Island got destroyed. Probably the same places that, during Hurricane Sandy. And the city, it was crazy. I mean, you saw, and Jersey too, you saw the pictures of all the brown water in the stadiums and everything. Like, it was crazy. So, obviously a lot of people I'm sure were affected by it. So yeah, obviously, your thoughts and prayers go out to them, but absolutely crazy. In terms of his Gates point, yeah, a lot of people, John, and I thought about this today because a lot of people have been asking me, why haven't the Giants picked up another tackle? Because all they've done is pick up interior linemen. They picked up Price. They picked up 3 interior linemen on their team so far, and they say, why didn't they pick up another tackle? And the way that I looked at it, going back to his Gates point, obviously you got the 3 tackles, and really Gates is a tackle. Gates is like an emergency 4th tackle, where if you have an injury here, you could shift Gates to the tackle, and you could put Price or somebody else at the center position. So that's the way I look at that. And I think Gates' versatility is very valuable.
I completely agree. By the way, guys, we got 553 in the house. Do me a favor. We got 290 likes. Let's get over 300 likes. You can make that happen right now by smacking that thumbs up. It is free. It's easy to do. Always helps out the stream. Also, if you have any new to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell to this channel. But more importantly, make sure you go into the description. The first thing you're going to see, there's a link to the Entertainer Talkin Sports. If you happen to be new and just tuning in, we do this show every week. We alternate channels. And we do every Giants game during the football season, except for the one we're going to be at on November 28th. We also alternate channels for that. So make sure you go over there, sub him up. We'll be on his channel next week to do this show as we really get ready to talk about the game against the Denver Broncos. And we will be streaming that game on the Entertainers channel. So make sure you guys subscribe. And thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate all the support you guys and girls showing this these show. It's pretty awesome, man. Eds, thank you so much. Brilly says, I love your optimism. That's why I tune into you. He's talking about you. He ain't talking about me.
I'm assuming he's talking about. Well, sometimes you're optimistic.
Sometimes.
Yeah, listen, I try to be realistic, and I'm not selling you a boat, man. I'm telling you, I'm just as worried as everybody else with the offensive line this year. So last year I said 6 wins. They won 6 games. This year I'm saying 9 wins. I hope they win 17.
I picked them to win 6 last year. Picked them to win 10. So hopefully that happens. So
yeah,
I'm always optimistic. I am definitely optimistic this year. I haven't been. I am this year though. I do feel. Like I said, the offensive line. Not everything's perfect, but I feel good about what they did in the offseason. I feel like they addressed a lot of.
Rolly's already coming with the smiley faces because I said I guess I'm not. I'm. The funny thing is, he says that you're the pessimistic one. I'm the optimistic one. I have us winning 1 last game.
Yeah, there you go.
But here's what I'm going to say. I think we're both relatively optimistic, like more so than I guess the super pessimistic fans.
Yes.
It's just that you're more reactionary than I am.
Definitely.
Where if something bad happens, I'm willing to wait a couple more games to see if they can figure it out. And you're ready to go. I think that's the difference. But I think going into a season and the overall outlook of the team, I think we're more optimistic than I guess a lot of the fans of this fan base.
I also yell a lot more, so maybe that's more just I have that. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Like when I go off, I go off. People know. Listen, it's part of my charm. Like when the Yankees are losing 4-0, bad dog, do a rant video. I'm like I can't rant every time; it's going to get old. But I do rant when I feel it's necessary to do so. The Giants lose at Denver. I'm not going to come on here and scream and yell about losing the first game. If they go 0-4. Well, then you're going to get a classic. Hopefully, I'm not ranting this year. Can I be happy this year? Can we talk about some good stuff? Like when the Yankees are going through all that crap, and I had to make all those terrible videos. People loved them, but I'm like, can I talk good? And then they win 13 in a row. I'm like, all right, I like this. Then they lose 4 in a row, and I'm like, this is why I don't like Aaron Boone, because Aaron Boone toys with the lineup too damn much, and that's why I don't like him. You don't need to do that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stop messing around. Just play, manage on field, man. You know. And then, of course, you got to Garrett Cole. That always helps, too. It's something the Mets are missing because they don't have DeGrom. That certainly would have helped them.
Having that stopper is always huge. It limits the losing. Yeah.
Tutto, grazie. Thank you so much, man. He says, I really appreciate you, brother. He says, Giants have the greatest players. All they need is better training by the coaches and more discipline by the players. That's a fact. They definitely need a little bit more discipline because that's the only thing. The Giants can't have penalties, man. They don't have the offense to be 1st and 20.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I'll agree with this. I love Tudo. I don't know if I'll agree with the statement that we have the greatest players, but what I will say is I think we have enough talent to have a winning football team. I'll tell you that right now. We have enough talent. It's going to come down the line, but I do think we have the proper coaching. I really do. I think Patrick Graham, to me, that guy's going to be head coach. That I almost have more confidence in Patrick Graham than I do of Joe Judge.
Should.
I think Patrick Graham is fantastic. So I do think we have the coaches that can get the most out of the players. Garrett, obviously, a lot of people aren't high on, but I do like our coaching staff. I think we have enough talent to be a winning football team as well. But the most important part of the team is the biggest question mark, and I think that's what you're kind of hung up on right now if you're a Giant fan.
Yep. Kevin, thank you so much, brother. Really, really, really appreciate you. Great first name, by the way, as well. Let's face it, Dave Gettleman is fired or retires, and Kevin Abrams will be the next GM. I still got faith we'll take the NFC East this year.
Yeah,
we have a good chance to take it. And Abrams probably would be the guy.
I agree. That's what I said earlier, Kevin. And I don't know if that's the best course of action. But as a guy that likes Joe Judge and doesn't want constant turnover with the head coach, outside of an insane situation where we win like 3 games, then maybe you do blow it up, which I don't see happening. I don't want that to happen. So I do think that's the path that they will take if they move on from Dave Gettleman. I think they're going to hire from within so that the new GM is not looking to fire Joe Judge.
I saw this real quick. The Happy Huntsman says Andrew Thomas will be Bad Dog's first rant this season. That'd be a good bet. That'd be a good bet because
I hope there's 0 rants this year.
I do too, but I hope so too. But if there is one with the way he played against the Patriots, that's a good bet.
Yeah,
that's a good bet.
I am gonna go. All right, I gotta guess who your first rant's gonna be.
It's either gonna be him or Jones, right?
Well, yeah, I'm good. All right, I'll give you a sleeper because obviously Jones and a member of the offensive line are probably the most obvious, whether it be Paired or Thomas. Thomas more pressure because he's got higher expectations. So I'll go with one of those two. But if it's a sleeper, I will go
Evan
Ingram or Darius Slayton. Because Darius Slayton has had a lot of drop problems that I don't think a lot of fans have spoke of. Last year he had like 6 drops on 60.
He did, yeah.
He had the drop on the preseason game. So a sleeper, I'll go with Slayton or Ingram.
The thing is, remember, Slayton's a 5th-round pick, so it's harder to get on him. The other 3 you mentioned are all 1st-round picks.
Yeah.
You obviously expect a lot more of them. I don't expect – Darius Slayton came onto the scene out of nowhere. I liked him coming out of Auburn, the 4.39. He was 6'2". He got good size. I like that speed. I thought it was a good pick. I didn't expect him to have the rookie season he did, and then all of a sudden expectations become really good because let's face it, when he's drafted in the 5th round, you're like, you hope he makes the team. You don't expect him to be the number 1 receiver his rookie year. And then all of a sudden that happens, and you're like, now we expect a lot. And he didn't live up to it. And, yeah, he had the big drop against the Patriots and a perfect throw by Daniel Jones. So he could get a rant, but it's less likely just because, again, of where he was drafted. Where Jones, 6th overall, Thomas, 4th overall.
Adore Jackson, I could see. Because he got paid a lot of money.
That could be, too.
There's raised expectations. That'll be my defensive sleeper. If Adore Jackson
that's a possible.
Gets cooked in a game, I could see that being a bad dog.
That's a good one. Because you know me, shit fondue. I got no problem going after the second. He'll still remember shit fondue. They don't forget. Eds, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Brilly, brother. He says it's just hard to be optimistic with this line.
Understandable.
Yeah. That's a big concern.
Yeah.
Very big concern. Sarkon, thank you, brother. Brilly. I'm guessing he's a UConn fan. I'm just looking at the Husky there and the con at the end. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing he's a UConn fan. He says, I think it's all on Garrett's play calling. He is the key to success of the offensive line and DJ. It could be. I mean, what am I going to say?
It's all on Garrett. I don't think it's all on Garrett.
No, but I think Daniel Jones needs to learn how to read defenses where he can change the blocking scheme with the line. I don't know if he's good at that. Eli was great at it. And Eli's line was so bad it didn't matter. But I feel like Daniel Jones needs to get better at that. His pre-snap reads.
You know, one thing I'll say, Bad Dog, that I've learned since I've been a New York Giant fan, and again, not defending Garrett. I'm not in love with Garrett. I personally think, and I think we both agree, he takes way too much heat. I think part of the problem, not the full problem. Since I've been watching the Giants, even during the good years, I don't think we've ever, outside of maybe Sean Payton in 2000, since Eli Manning's been the quarterback, I don't think we've ever liked our offensive coordinator. So I think with Gilbride, it used to be Kevin Kildrop.
I liked McAdoo as our offensive coordinator.
He was good for a year or two. Yeah. All right.
I liked him. I hated him as our head coach. I liked him.
He was a solid offensive coordinator. I'll give you that one.
Simon, thank you, brother. Really appreciate you, my man. I ain't a Yankee fan, but I watch all your videos for that. The rant. They deserved a lot of rants earlier in the year. I'm not killing them right now. You know, they lost 4 in a row. I'll be like, how can we not kill them? Like, because they just won 13 in a row. They're not going to win every game. But yeah, they shouldn't be losing series to the Angels. But they never play well on the West Coast. Never.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Knicks this past year when they had a 10-game winning streak. I had Knicks fans saying that I should be flipping out when they lost. I was like, how can I flip out? They just won 10 straight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Go Eagles. Really, really, thank you so much. We're sweeping you all, in my opinion. Well,
of course, you're an Eagles fan.
It's 420
You're
someplace.
going to be disappointed. We'll break out the brooms, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think you're sweeping us. I think we're splitting, but I don't think you're sweeping us. I'll be shocked if you sweep us with the team you field. Jalen Hurts is going to have a lot of turnovers against the defenses, against Washington, against the Giants, against Denver. He's going to turn the ball over a lot. The guy turns it over a lot. He turned it over a lot at Oklahoma too. So, sports fan, thank you, brother. Brilly, I really appreciate you, my man. He says we have to be real. We got to cut down this offensive line entirely if they don't improve.
I mean, I don't know if necessarily the entire. I think you base it on an individual basis. Like, I think Gates could still be here if Hernandez has a good year, but there's going to have to be changes. We're going to have to make additions. I don't think you cut it all down, though. I think there are some bright spots on this offensive line, but I think you need to make additions at the end of the year.
Yeah. I agree. They'll definitely have to retool it. Again, I don't know if you want to break it down entirely, but it's going to have to be retooled. And regardless, even if the offensive line is mediocre, you still want to improve it. You still want it to be a great offensive line. We have a long ways to go.
I say it all the time. I'm in complete agreement with the Saints' philosophy. The Saints have had the best offensive line in football for the last 3 or 4 years, and they still draft first-round offensive linemen because they know they're going to have to replace some guys that are going to have free agency. Even when the line's good, I want them to continue to draft early offensive linemen. That's just my mindset.
Yeah. Philly 500, my man. Brilly, thanks so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. One more, the anger. I need you. Okay. Let me read this. Want me to give you a dirt nap like your boy Michael Anthony Fitness?
No,
give me one of these.
No,
that's fitness.
You got to do it again. You didn't say where's the fitness.
Oh, my bad. All right. He can edit this. Want me to give you a nap like your boy Michael Anthony? Where's the fitness?
There you go.
Edit it.
What's up, Philly?
Philly's the man. My poor Mark Combs be like, why Baddog all pissed off at me? I don't know. Like, if you want me to say something about Philly, listen, I did a whole. By the way, I have to do a Mark Holmes video this year. That has to happen.
Week 5.
I have to do it. I got to find something for hair though, because he doesn't wear a hat. Like Philly always wears a hat in his videos. Like Mark Holmes don't ever wear a hat. And I could cut out a Dallas Star. I could just do that. I could cut out a Dallas Star and put it on the white hat like I did with the Eagles logo.
You wear a cowboy hat.
What?
You can wear an actual cowboy hat.
I don't have that.
You can buy a prop, $5 or something.
I'm not wasting my money.
Funny.
It would be funny, but he don't wear that. But he's from Virginia. He's not really even.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Brilly, thanks so much. He says, you could argue that as much as a make or break year for Saquon as it is for Daniel Jones, since Saquon is due a new contract.
100%.
Well, listen, I got killed last year for even suggesting that the Giants should listen to trade offers for Saquon Barkley. Because honestly, you're right.
It's all together. If Gettleman goes, Saquon goes more than likely. They're joined at the hip. Gettleman, Jones, Barkley, those are his babies. It's all joined at the hip. So I think there's pressure on Garrett, Gettleman, Barkley, Jones, this whole regime. There's pressure.
My man, NYB, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Really. He says, old boy said a pigeon's going to sweep us with the laughy emojis. Eagles trash. Right about that. Yeah, I told you it's 420 somewhere. It is. They love it. They love it. They love it. Fix the O-line. Thank you, my man. Really appreciate you. He says Bronx now 3-point favorites was 2. Giants plus 140 to win. I don't know. Everybody hates on the Giants, man.
Yeah, I think that game, if I'm being honest, should probably be a pick'em game. I do understand it, why people would think the Broncos.
I do too, because of the offensive line.
Our offensive line, they have a great pass rush. And so I understand they have a good secondary as well. I understand it. But I don't think we should be at home. I don't think we should be 3-point dogs. There's no way. In my opinion, we should be 3-point dogs at home.
Here's a good question. Bear, my man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Brilly. For week one, if Jones actually has time in the pocket, do you think one of their plans will be to go after the rookie Surtain? Who do you think will cover? Yeah, they have to attack him.
Yeah, I brought that up on Twitter like a month ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And people called me crazy. I said if I was the Giants, my game plan is to run the ball and attack the rookie corner Patrick Surtain. And some people agree with it. But there were some people like, are you crazy? You can't attack Patrick Surtain. Look at the way he's played in preseason. First off, it's preseason. I don't care how he's looked in preseason. And I know he's a very talented cornerback, even though I personally think he's being a little bit overrated. He has some athletic limitations. He ran like a 4.5 40. He's very good. I would have been happy if the Giants – well, I don't know if I would have wanted a corner, but he would have definitely been justified in taking him 11th overall. He's a very good corner, and I'm sure he's going to be very good for the Broncos. But you got to be out of your mind if you don't try to pick on a rookie corner in his first game. I don't care how good of it. Jeff Okudah was the 3rd overall pick last year. You saw how much he struggled with Detroit. You have to go after him. And I would guess he'll probably match up on Slayton.
Yeah. What I would do if I'm the Giants, I would try to get mismatches against him. I mean, I would try to move the wide receivers around. I don't think Surtain's going to mirror anybody. So if you get Galladay lined up on him, I think that'd be best case scenario. If you get Galladay lined up on him, or get him in a precarious situation where maybe he has to cover Kadarius Toney coming out of the backfield, something, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I would definitely attack a rookie because a rookie cornerback has not seen the offense. The offenses are much more complex. You're not going to see everything. You're not going to see all the plays. The playbook is extremely vanilla in the preseason. You're not going to see everything is going to be thrown at you. And, I would definitely go after a rookie. You got to make a rookie prove it. It's just like when a rookie comes up to the major leagues, you have to throw him a fastball. You got to show, hey, I can hit the fastball. So the speed, the size of these receivers, it's such a massive jump. I always say this. Quarterback is the toughest adjustment going from college to the NFL. I think cornerback is the second hardest adjustment because of the rules, because of the speed, because of the releases, the routes. These guys are the best of the best. This isn't just, hey, you're in college, you might play 1 or 2 NFL quarterbacks NFL wide receivers in an entire season. You're playing one every week. So I would definitely go after Surtain.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I maybe tackle. It's close, but I think I'm in agreement with you. I think cornerback is the second hardest transition into the NFL. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, definitely. Zuabe, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Brilly. Hey, what's going on, fellas? These floods, man. Stay safe. We're talking about. I'm upstate. I didn't get the flooding. It rained like hell here, but I didn't know it was that bad in the city until I saw videos of it, man. Insane.
Yeah. Same thing with me. It was pouring where I was, but we didn't get flooding here. But I showed all the videos, and I even tweeted it out yesterday. I was like, "Oh my god, I hope everybody stays safe," because I couldn't believe it. I mean, it looked like Sandy all over again, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Like there was warnings for it, but I didn't think it was going to be at the level that it was.
Me neither. And Asia, my lady, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, Asia. Very generous. Cheers to you, my lady. How about our Yankees, Asia? She didn't even put that in there, but how about our Yankees? A 13-game winning streak is very nice. She says, hey, bad dog, you Lunan, stand up, my sexy Tainah. He is sexy. He's bringing sexy back like JT. He says, she says, I'm on the train coming home from work. Good game on your Mets, sweeping the Marlins. Kristen Bad Dog. Oh, there she goes. Let's sweep the Asia. We better sweep the damn Orioles. We were only 6-4 against the Orioles. We need to sweep them. Tampa Bay is like 16-1 against them. It's a difference in the division. Let's read this. I feel much better. Can't wait for football season. Let's go, Giants. Close.
Yeah, Asia. About my Mets, we've now won 4 in a row, but I don't want to get my hopes up. But we're only 4.5 out. There's 29 games left. I think DeGrom may be back. They said potentially within 2 weeks. And we've got now the Nationals for 5 who are out of it, and then Miami for 8. And then it gets hard, obviously, with the Yankees, then the Cardinals, Phillies, who will need to beat. So, but these
Phillies are red hot right now. I think they've won 6 in a row or something.
These next 8 games, though, if we could win 7 of them, which is possible. I mean, the Marlins and Washington stink. They might actually draw me back in for the last 3 weeks of the season. Maybe they got a shot. So they're starting to play a little bit better.
Dire Giants fan, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, my man. Really. Do we know who Denver's starting a quarterback? Bridgewater.
Yeah. Bridgewater. And I actually would have preferred. Well, I don't know who I would have preferred because I say it's a game of turnovers. And Locke's obviously more turnover prone. But at the same time, Bridgewater's not beating you over the top. He's a guy that's going to manage the game, and our defense is great within the red zone. So I don't see them putting up a whole lot of points with Bridgewater at quarterback. So I think Locke was a bigger threat, but also a guy that could lose you the football game. Bridgewater's not going to lose you the football game. He's very good in terms of not turning the football over, which puts pressure on Jones not to do that. We all know at times that's a problem for him. So I don't know who I'd rather verse. It really doesn't matter. Neither one scares me, but yeah, I think we could beat them with Bridgewater at quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Giants have a good chance to beat Denver. Asia, I had to reset the mods. I've been giving it back a little of time because I had a problem. Whoever it was, I had a rogue mod going into my old streams and blocking some of my best subscribers, people that are in the stream all the time. And when I went through it, I looked and it took me 4 hours to unblock everybody that shouldn't have been blocked. So I had to reset the mods. And like I said, I've been giving it back a little time. So you'll get it back. I had to reset this and I had to do a better job of keeping track and making sure that people that weren't supposed to be blocked are not blocked. So you will get that back. I just been, doing it slowly, but you will get it back. I had to do that. And unfortunately, Chris has had to do it. Philly 500, we've had to do it. Like every content creator that I know has had
it's happened to me twice.
Yeah,
where I've had to do it, and it is what it is. You don't know who it is. A lot of times they could pose as Asia, for example, even though it may not be Asia. Pretend and you don't know, so you have to just start from scratch.
Exactly. Dire Giants fan, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my man. Really. Guess they gave up on Drew like Philly will inevitably do with Hurts. Yes, that's a fact. I said that game in Denver. I said they lose big, and that's the game Jalen Hurts loses his job to Gardner Minshew. And Louis T said, I could see that happening. That's the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that and I don't think Drew Lock's going to be good, but I'm surprised they gave up on Drew Lock as quickly as they did. I thought he would start the year.
Yeah. I actually see my man Charles Barkley. He was in the stream last night. He's thank you so much.
Well, before you say it, I see Asia said, Chris, that hurts. I wasn't saying you would do it. What I was saying was what trolls do is they pose as what we think are loyal subscribers. So I just use you as an example. The person that's doing this pretends that they're you. They have a name that looks identical to you. They have the same profile picture.
Yep.
And then they come on and they start blocking people. And that's why when it happens, you have to start completely over. Because that's what happened. Everybody that was a mod was somebody that was like, well, it can't be them. And I think that's what happened. I think it's people that pose as one of you guys and then starts blocking people. So that's why I just ripped it up.
Yeah. It sucks, but it happens. And like I said, you'll get it back, Asia. Don't worry about it, my lady. Sir Charles, thank you. Saquon Barkley won't be stopped. Mark my words. MVP, Brilly. Somebody told me I had to have Brilly merch. I have to work on that. Maybe a little cheers with the beers and a little Brilly, something like that. Maybe we'll work on that. See if I can get DW, somebody to do that for me. Luckily for me, I can't draw to save my life, but I think I could find something with beers and I could just write Brilly. That shouldn't be that difficult. I should be able to figure that the hell out. Who knows? I have no artistic bone in my body whatsoever. I can tell you that.
Well, of course, Asia wouldn't do that. I know
No, definitely not. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, if it's just a regular generic picture.
Yeah, somebody pretends to be Asia or pretends to be Dire Giants fan or whoever, and they The
other thing I can say is they're dog pound people, so it's much easier to see that. Tutto, grazie, Brilly, my man. Thank you so much. He says, when we do go to Philly, all smart Eagle fans run away like scared rats, but the dumb ones walk into the fire and get burned. Tuto, you need to vlog this stuff. You need to vlog it. The vlog. I want to see Tuto's crew go through Lincoln Financial Field with a trail of teeth laying behind him.
Tuto absolutely needs to vlog his experience at
I think he does.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
when he goes to the link.
Without a doubt. JC, man, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Really should run West Coast offense. Jones ran a version of it at Duke. Is comfortable with it. Eli ran it with McAdoo. Eli's career touchdown interception would have been far better under it. That's a fact. And yeah, I was talking about last night. I wish a guy like Kyle Shanahan was our coordinator.
I wish Pat Shurmur was our coordinator. If I'm being honest, I think Jones fit Pat Shurmur's scheme very well. He turned the ball over, but Shurmur ran a style of the West Coast offense. He just was a horrible coach, head coach. But I think that's a big reason why we drafted Jones. I think that he does fit the Pat Shurmur runs a variation of the West Coast style offense. I think that is what would fit him better. I agree with you, JC.
Yeah, I do too. Because West Coast offense has the quarterback getting rid of the ball quick. And with how bad the offensive line is, you want a lot of 3 and 5 step drops for Jones. Not so much a 7-step drop. You want those quick releases, those quick bubble screens, and the quick little slants and in routes and all that stuff. I mean, you don't want him that, but you still want him to throw deep now and again. But yeah, you want him to get the ball out quick, safe, short passes that move the sticks. I mean, that's fine. And Daniel Jones doesn't need to throw like Pat Mahomes. I'm fine with Daniel Jones being a guy that's average to above average because that's all the Giants need, in my opinion, is that with how good their defense is. If their defense is like Dallas's, then yeah. And of course, Dallas has a great offense. So they're going to line up and you got Zeke. Zeke can run, but you also have Dak. Dak can throw the ball. Dak's going to have time. Dak has 3 really good receivers. So it's just different. But yeah, I think that West Coast offense would suit Daniel Jones. And like Chris said, I think that's the reason they drafted him because Shurmur ran that and Shurmur was the coach when they took him.
That was a major reason.
Grim Silo, thank you, my man. Really, brother. Just got done watching Minnesota, Ohio State. The tackle for Minnesota is 6'9", 370. Moves great. Pancaked multiple guys. Future Giant first rounder. I did not know Minnesota and Ohio State played tonight.
I knew Ohio State. I didn't know who they were playing. I knew Ohio State.
That's a good freaking Big Ten game on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Who won that, Grim? You don't need a super chat, but who won that game?
People keep telling me about this guy. I'm curious. I'm looking up a mock. I don't do any research on mock drafts yet, but I'm curious to see where he's going in these mock drafts. Tackle out of Minnesota. Let me see.
Super duper sniper gang. Thank you, brother. Brilly. I appreciate you. My man says, do you think we'll sign Cam Newton? I don't.
No.
Dallas should sign Cam Newton. They have no backup.
The team that makes the most sense for me is Washington. If they're going to go that route, because
he would start there,
or at least compete. And he's got the connection to Ron Rivera.
Yep.
And it's a team where if he stepped in, he has a legitimate chance to win if he's good. With that defense that they have. So I think that makes the most sense for Newton because you would think Newton would want to compete to start. But as far as the Giants go, I keep saying it, Baddog. I get that people – first off, Newton's not what he was. You're not going to – I don't think he has anything to winning. He won 6
No, he's done. Too many injuries.
Yeah, a lot of
his career.
But even if you're a fan that feels like Newton's a significant upgrade to Daniel Jones – if our offensive line don't block, we're not going to win much anyway, and he's not a long-term answer. I'd rather – this year's about Daniel Jones. This year's about finding out whether or not Daniel Jones is going to be the guy going forward. And we have to see that this year with the pieces in place. In my opinion, Cam Newton's not going to win you any extra games. If it does, maybe a game if he reverts back to old Cam. But it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, from a Giants perspective. Daniel Jones your guy this year, and we got to find out if he's going to be the guy next year.
I completely agree. And thank you guys for the update. They were saying Ohio State's up 45-31. I thought the game was over, but thank you for the update. I wish I knew. I would have bet Ohio State. I always make money on Ohio State. That's the only thing I make money on when I bet. Bear, thank you, my man. Really appreciate you, brother. This is, what do you guys think of Quincy Roche? Thought he was a good player coming into the draft. Glad we got him. Any chance you think he'll surprise us? We kind of touched on that earlier. In the stream, but he was a good addition, obviously for depth, and he'll probably have some part of the defense, but he's not going to start, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2 weeks leading up into the draft, I made a tweet about it. I said 3rd round. I'd be happy with it if the Giants draft him. I thought he was going to be a very good player in the NFL. 3rd or 4th round. That's kind of where my head was at. He went 6th round to the Steelers. And a major reason why I really liked him when I watched him was because I really feel like he fits our scheme very well. And I think that's why the Giants brought him in. He impressed at the Senior Bowl. I don't think he's going to have a huge role. Like I look right now at he might eventually get a role with this defense because we don't have great edge rushers. And you don't know if Carter's going to stay healthy. You don't know if Zimenez is going to stay healthy. Ellerson Smith's already hurt. Azeez Ojulari's a rookie. He could at least get some kind of role with this defense this year. And we'll see. Regardless, it was a really good pickup because he's got potential.
Yep. Zuabe, thank you, my man. Brilly, I appreciate you, brother. Was on the Breach Report, and it amazes me how stupid some people are. Sign Cam. What? Why? Where's the common sense and constructive thinking? The only way I'd consider that is if Jones went down. Well, that's what I would say, Zuhaib. Jones has went down the last 2 seasons. And that may be why people thought, why not? Just as an insurance policy. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if Cam Newton's even better than Mike Glennon at this point in his career. Maybe he is, but not by much.
He is. But if you're Cam Newton, why would you want to – like, I think a major reason why he's not with New England anymore is because he doesn't want to hold a clipboard. Like, if Newton would still be in New England if he wanted to be a backup. I think that's the reason why he got cut is because they said Mac Jones is going to be the starter. And he said, all right, I want to have an opportunity to go somewhere where maybe I could compete to become a starter. Okay. And if the Giants signed him, they're trying to find out what Daniel Jones is. I just don't see the attraction for Cam Newton. And I don't see how it makes any sense for the New York Giants because why put added pressure on Daniel Jones this year? He has enough pressure as is, believe me. Let's find out what he has this year. And then the following year we'll reassess. If Jones is a complete bust this year, not that I would want Cam Newton, but I would rather go that route if you're not going to go in the draft. You get that stopgap guy like a Newton, kind of like what New England was thinking last year.
Yeah.
You get a stopgap guy for a year before you draft your Mac Jones. If you don't like a quarterback in the draft, it makes more sense then to bring in a guy like Cam Newton. I'm not saying I want it to be Cam Newton next year, but a guy like that. This year, to me, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I'm thinking to myself when these people are saying about signing, maybe that's their thought process that if he does go, they're not thinking Cam Newton's not going to settle for a backup. But Giants fans that want a Cam are maybe saying, hey, we've seen Daniel Jones get hurt, missed 2 games his rookie season. He missed 2 games last year, and he probably should have missed more. He came back. He wasn't 100% healthy. And if the Giants are competing and say they're 6-3 or they're 7-4 and Jones goes down with an ankle injury, hopefully that doesn't happen. But then they're saying we really could use a Cam Newton as opposed to a Mike Glennon. That's why I would think some people want a Cam. I'm not going to say they're stupid for wanting Cam. I believe that's why they would want Cam. You know? That's my thought. Why I'm thinking some Giants fans are like, why don't we go after Cam? Would be that reason.
You and I both know, though, and this is why the Giants will never sign Cam.
Yeah, no, I know they won't. I'm just saying
that Daniel Jones throws, there's half the fan base going to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
They want to call McCoy last year.
Yeah.
It don't matter who the hell the backup is.
But especially if it's Cam Newton, a former MVP.
Yeah. Grim Silo, thank you, brother. Brilly. Daniel Falele, massive human being. The only thing I can say about that is Becton is a massive human being, and he's worrisome.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can get too big. That is a big boy, though. 6'9", 370.
Solder's big. Solder's like 6'8", isn't he? Solder's big.
But 370, that's a big boy.
That's big. 370 is big.
That is a walking block. That man is a city block. Can you imagine? Like I said, I used to go to Giants training camp. These guys are not human beings. They are huge. You can't appreciate how big they are until you see them in person, because when you see them on TV, it's all relative because they're all about the same size. Same thing in basketball players. You don't realize how tall they are until you see one in person because it's relative. You know, you can appreciate how big Aaron Judge is when you see him next to the first baseman that's my size, 6 foot 180 or whatever, and he's just way up the hell up here. Because baseball players are not 6'7", 275.
Well, I saw it when I went with Bobby, even though he's not a professional athlete, he was a collegiate offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's 6'7". That guy's huge.
Yeah, when I saw him with you guys, I'm like, damn, that's a big boy.
What offensive linemen look like, though?
I know.
He's crazy.
Zuabe, thank you, brother. Brilly says, yeah, but that's a point. The logistics don't make sense, not even for Newton. I don't understand some people, guys. Well, the other thing is, they hear a big name like Cam Newton, and like Chris said, he's a former MVP. Maybe they just want the best of the best on the Giants. I mean, again, I don't see them.
It, but you also have to, and I understand why because fans don't think of like the way that a general manager would think. They think the way a fan would think. They say, Cam Newton, he's better than Mike Glennon. Let's bring him in. And if Daniel Jones is bad the first game, get him in there and let's see what he's got. That's not the way a general manager thinks. The way a general manager thinks is, I need to find out what Daniel Jones is. I don't need this guy. Because think about it like this. Last year, Dwayne Haskins, okay? A big reason why he got pulled. If you go back at that Ravens game, Haskins actually had good stats. He threw for over 300 yards against a very good Baltimore defense. I don't think he turned it over. But the biggest gripe that people had in that game was they felt like Dwayne Haskins was playing not to lose his job. Like there were opportunities to throw the ball, and he was just checking it down. If you had a guy like Cam Newton, Daniel Jones in the back of his head is going to be like, oh my God, I better not throw an interception. I can't and he's going to play that way. And that's my line of thinking. I want my quarterback to go out there and be free, not have to worry about the first game, half the fan base saying, put Cam Newton in, because it may affect his play. He may play differently. I don't think that's something that you need to add to this situation in this quarterback room.
Yeah. By the way, I see David the Marine Veterans out. Have a great night, buddy. Always appreciate you. And enjoy Grand Theft Auto. That's one of my favorite games of all time. The old GTA. But thank you for being here, man. Always appreciate you. Asia, my lady, appreciate you. Brilly. Chris, Mets picked up Brad Hand. Are you happy? Aloha, Mr. Hand.
Decent pickup. He's a good, I think he had about a 3.5 year out of the bullpen. It's a decent pickup. Is it going to put us over the top? No, but it's a decent pickup. We need a little help there. So, yeah, sure, I liked it.
The younger people in the chat have no idea what the hell I just said when I said aloha, Mr. Hand. You know what that's from?
Aloha, Mr. Hand. No,
aloha,
maybe if you tell me.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I've seen the movie, but I don't remember it.
Oh, Go back and watch it again.
I saw it like 15 years.
Not even. I'm not a comedy fan, as you guys know, but I love that one. Aloha, Mr. Because that's what he says,
right? Matthew McConaughey's in that.
No, Matt McConaughey. No, this is in 1982. Matt McConaughey was like 12.
I don't think he was a star, but I think he's
Sean Penn is in that. Nicolas Cage is flipping burgers in that. Judge Reinhold. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah.
Phoebe Cates. Hot.
I'm gonna type it in right now.
Yeah. Aloha, Mr. Hand. Aloha. Philly Old Head. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Always appreciate an old head too, because I'm an old head. Y'all talking trash. Giants are trash. Always will be trash. Quarterback threw 11 touchdowns last year. Well, you spelled through wrong. If he's throwing, it's THREW. When you go through like a tunnel, it's THRU or THROUGH. Easier for me to say. So if you're going to trash Daniel Jones.
No, but maybe that's what he meant. Maybe he actually meant that Daniel Jones went through 11 touchdowns.
I don't know. What I do know is that Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to go through a rough season this year. that I do know. And it doesn't matter if the Giants are trash or not. You guys suck. And that will not change.
Yeah, and you're going to go through hell this year.
You are going to go through THROUGH hell, because your quarterback is probably going to throw. Well, I can't use through there, but throw. He's going to get pulled. Gardner Minshew will be your starter by the end of the year.
Did he? I have a question for Philly Oldhead 215. Did you go through Lord Brunson's channel and get one of those Hurts season hats? Because you must be shaking a little bit now that they went out and they traded for Gardner Minshew.
I would think so. Old head, though. I like old heads. I'm an old head. I respect it. Travis, thank you, brother. Really. Spicoli is the best. I love that movie. That is a good one.
Oh, he's right. He says Toney thinking about Dazed and Confused. That is the movie I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that came way after. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You weren't even born yet when that came out.
Yeah. But the movie I was thinking about was that one. But I know I've seen it years ago.
That's a great one, though. Spicoli is a good one, man. 420 for Spicoli, the entire movie. That's all he does. There's one part where he takes his shoe and he hits it on his head and he's on the phone. He's like, You hear that? And he's like, what was that? He's like, that was my skull. Yeah. That's true. It's a great movie. But yeah, Mr. Hand is the history teacher, and he and Spicoli have a whole thing. It's hilarious. He starts, that's what he says. Mr. Hand comes in, he goes, aloha, I am Mr. Hand.
I'm gonna have to check. I like I said, it's probably 20 years ago. I was probably a kid when I watched it, but I know I've seen it. But I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah, that's a lot. That movie. Wow, that thing's almost 40 years old. That is insane. Good stuff. Good stuff. Goodfellas is the best movie ever. It's my favorite, along with the original Halloween, Nick. There's no doubt about that.
My only gripe with Goodfellas, and this always comes up when I'm comparing it to mafia movies. Obviously, Godfather's got to be up there.
Yeah.
For most people, I actually prefer Casino. It's close. Goodfellas is fantastic. It's got so many great single scenes, individual scenes, one-liners. The music's fantastic. The montages are fantastic. My only gripe with that movie, I didn't like the ending. I didn't love the ending of Goodfellas, and I felt like the first hour to hour and a half was fantastic, and then like the last 30 minutes is like a little. I don't know. I didn't like the ending.
It kind of jumps forward fast.
Yeah, but a great movie. Great movie.
I love it. I love the whole thing. I love Casino too, though. I mean, it's the same cast of characters.
It's basically the sequel.
It really is. Red Rich, thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate you. He said, you guys make a great deal. I can't even talk tonight. You guys, the Eagle family messed me up with the through thing. He says, you guys make a great duo. WFAN should hire you guys. Y'all would be great on the radio.
Appreciate that.
And awesome. Stephen Lilly thinks so too, because then he wouldn't have to look at our mugs. Asia Roberson says, hey, you guys.
That's a great movie too.
That when the Goonies came out, I was 9. So this came out in 1985, and those kids in the movie are about 9 or 10. So obviously, my age. And yeah, I remember me and my buddies or my cousins, we'd go biking around, we'd be riding around on bikes looking for treasure in the woods and try to reenact the movie. It's just pretty good.
That movie's great. I love that movie as a kid.
It is. Yeah, that's a good one. Someone said, Chris, are you doing? I think they meant Chris.
Say, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Hey, Chris first. I'm good, Andrew, man. Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Yeah. What? Giants won 4 Super Bowls, not 2. Giants won. I don't know. I just saw D. Grant says Giants won 2 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls overall. No, they won 4 Super Bowls. They won 8 championships overall.
Yeah, 1986, 1990, 2008, and 2012.
Yeah,
4 Super Bowls.
Yes. Dad's got a righteous. My dad is a cable repairman. He's got a righteous set of tools. I can fix. You can't fix this car, McCully. I can fix it. It's. I love it. You gotta love that movie. It's great. I mean, obviously, one of the best parts is when Judge Reinhold is taking care of business in the bathroom, and Phoebe Cates walks in on him, and he just goes, "Jesus, doesn't anybody freaking knock anymore?" I mean, you should have locked the door, buddy. I mean, what are you doing?
Somebody said they won the Super Bowl in 1956. There wasn't a Super Bowl in 1956. 1967 was the first Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a championship. I mentioned this last night. 27, 34, 50. I'm sorry. 27, 34, 38, 56, 86, 90, 2007, 2011. Those are the 8 championships for the Giants. Now, the Giants played in 20, I believe it was 20 NFL championships. 20, or maybe it was 16. They lost a ton of them, but they were in it like every year.
The Packers won a lot too.
Well, Packers won a lot. They got the most. They got 12 total.
Yeah,
and then the Bears have 9, and then us with 8.
Yeah, but the Bears only have 1 Super Bowl.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the NFC East is the best, because the NFC North has really old rivalries as well. Those teams have been around forever. Outside of the Packers, they have 1 Super Bowl in that entire division.
Yeah.
1.
5 total.
5 total.
Yeah, Packers,
the Cowboys have 5 alone. In this division, we have 13.
It's not even close. I mean,
every one of them is 1-1 at least. By the time the Eagles got 1. And on top of that, the teams in this division have played in 21 of the 54 Super Bowls, man. Over 40%. 21 Super Bowls have been represented by someone in the NFC East.
And you look in the South, the Saints have 1, the Falcons haven't won, the Panthers haven't won.
Bucks have 2.
The Bucks have 3. And then in the West is pretty good because the Niners have 5. Seattle has 1. The Rams have 1.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, 1. And then the Cardinals don't. So they have 7. So nobody's close to the.
And the Cardinals also came from our division, and they were like a late arrival to that. So, yeah, Giants used to beat the hell out of them all the time too back in the day. Dire Giants fan, thank you, my man. I appreciate you, brother. Really check the mod IG chat after bed. I will definitely check that. We'll figure out who's going to be mods coming up in the season. We'll go over like another 5 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. And yes, the last 15 years for us, well, not 15, but 10 have been very dry.
For what, the Giants?
Dry. I don't know if it's for the Giants or not.
Well, if it's the East, the Eagles won 4 years ago. But outside of that, it's been dry. Yeah. We owned the 90s, not the Giants, but the division. 80s, 90s, the East owned it. I mean, between Washington.
Between what was it, 82 and 95, I think we won a total of 7 Super Bowls.
8, between Washington won 3, the Giants won 2, and Dallas won 3.
So 8.
Yeah, 8 from like
and Washington played in 83. So yeah, the NFC East was the best division in football when I was growing up by far. That's why, even though it was terrible last year, I mean, it was fun for us because we weren't a good team and we had a chance to win the division. But that's embarrassing. This division should be way better. I hate the teams in this division. I love seeing them suck if we're good. But I'd much rather be winning this. I'd rather the Giants be like 12, like it was before, where 3 teams would make it out of this division in the playoffs, with the Giants would win the Super Bowl. That's fine. I like that stuff.
When we won the 2008 Super Bowl, 3 teams made it. Washington made the playoffs that year. Dallas and the Giants.
Yep. 2000, I know the Eagles made it. I don't know if Washington made it in 2000. I can't remember.
Not in 2011. We were the only one that year.
Yeah, 2000. No, 2000. When
2000.
I know we beat the Eagles in 2000. We swept the Eagles 3 games in 2000.
I think it was just us 2 that year. I think.
Where Simon Z Super Chat? Where is that?
See if I can find it.
Seems that I missed it. I thought
I don't see it right now. If it's
thought I got them all. Let me go back here. I did. My bad. I did miss it. My bad, Simon. I can't pull it up on the screen, but thank you so much, Simon. Appreciate you, brother. Brilly says Cam got cut because he don't want to be a backup, especially not for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think he's got a bit of an ego. I can't picture Cam wanting to hold the clipboard. So I don't see him. I don't even see him wanting to come to the Giants.
Yeah, that is very. No, I mean that makes sense. Like I said, when Zuhaib asked that, I'm just trying to think of what a Giants fan's thought process is as to why they would want to bring him in here. But again, it makes complete sense. He wants to go someplace that he can compete. He probably still thinks that he can. Although he's not. I mean, he's been in the league 10 years. He's battled a ton of injuries, and honestly, I mean.
And listen,
I think he's over. I think Cam Newton is overrated as a quarterback. He had 2 really good seasons. His rookie season was really good. As far as a quarterback goes, he was one of the most athletic quarterbacks ever, and he was great with his athletically phenomenal. But quarterback-wise, I mean, Michael Vick was great athletically as well, but he wasn't a great quarterback. Cam Newton threw for more than 24 touchdowns once in his career. His year he won MVP, and he only threw for 4,000 yards once in his entire career because, again, he was more of a runner. Great athlete and ahead of his time, but not a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Newton, I'm looking at his stats now. The guy has a 60% completion percentage for a career, which is not. But that 1 year, even though he only had a 60% completion percentage that year he was incredible. The year he won the MVP in 2015 when they won 15-1. Cam Newton's one of my favorite players, actually. I love Cam Newton watching him play, but I agree he's a bit overrated. I always thought he kind of got more of a bad rap from the media than he deserved. But I thought he seemed like a really nice guy. Always gave to the football to the kids and everything. But I would agree with you on that. He's a bit overrated. Obviously, he's had injury problems as well.
Yeah, he's got some great outfits. He wears some great clothes.
Yeah.
He definitely has some interesting. He thinks he's Clyde Frazier. Only one guy can get away with that. That's Clyde Frazier. Still getting away with it. The cow suit. Everybody loves the cow suit. I love the cow suit. Give Me Your Food says, do you feel more confident against Denver than the Steelers last year? Oh my God, yes.
Yes. I mean, last year the Steelers game going in. You missed the super chat, by the way, Red Rich. Going in.
Why am I missing all these?
It's not even that far up. Just scroll up a little bit. Going in the Steelers game, I knew we had no chance. We had no preseason to prepare. You were talking about a veteran team. That game was over before it started. This game, I think, is a 50-50 game. So I'm much more confident with the Denver game.
Definitely. Red Rich, thank you, my man. Brilly, brother. Would you guys agree the AFC has all the best quarterbacks besides Brady and Rodgers? NFC quarterbacks are trash.
Think about it. Now that you brought it up, I mean,
Mahomes.
Outside of Dak in our division, as of now, they're all trash. They're all unproven.
Rodgers is good. Russell Wilson's good.
Kyler
Wilson. Murray is good.
Good, yeah. But
Brady.
Yeah, he said Brady. He said Brady and Rodgers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, the Lions, no. Cousins is mediocre.
Stafford's good.
Who?
Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's good. The thing is, the AFC has all the emerging quarterbacks too. They've got
Mahomes.
They've got Lawrence. They've got Mahomes. They've got Josh Allen. They've got all Lamar Jackson. They've got all the young emerging quarterbacks. The NFC was kind of the old guys with Breeze, who recently retired. Brady was in the AFC, but now he's in the NFC. Rodgers. So yeah, the AFC is what. Like, you look at the AFC right now, Baddog. You've got the Jets quarterback. He could be really good. He's young and emerging. You've got Baker Mayfield, young and emerging. You've got the guys we've already mentioned: Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert. You've got Joe Burrow. You've got, they have all the young up and coming quarterback, and we didn't even speak about Ryan Tannehill right now as a top 10 quarterback. The AFC they are way ahead of the NFC in terms of the quarterback position.
They do. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think Dak is trash. I think Dak has to stay healthy.
Yeah. No, Dak's solid.
But he's like middle of the road. You know, he's kind of middle of the road. But
I said Dak, Duran. I said he was the only guy in our division that I.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jordan, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my man. Brilly. I'd hit New Jersey hard. Too. Pushed my Rutgers game Saturday. Still going though. Greg Schiano is gonna bring us back to glory days. So excited. Go Rutgers University.
Yeah, he was the coach the last time. I'm not a big college fan, but I remember that Rutgers team when they had Ray Rice, and that was the last time that they were good when Shannon was there. And then he went. Who did he coach? He became a head coach. The Bucks. Became a head coach for the Bucks, and he got fired within like a year or two. And I guess now Rutgers brought it back. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You never know. I don't think Urban Meyer is going to do a good job in Jacksonville. It's just not. I just don't think so. And again, a lot of my stuff comes from Uncle Lou because he knows the stuff. And he said Urban Meyer just, as soon as things get hot, he just turns tail and runs. So, that definitely may happen over there as well. But Waterfield, who's Waterfield? Tua, I don't think Tua's that good.
He could be, but I'm not a big Tua guy. I'm not sold.
Big Herbert guy.
Herbert's great, and Burrow could be really good. And Tua could be, though. He's young and could be good. Like, they have all of them. I mean, outside of Justin Fields, you could say maybe with the Bears, but the Bears have never had a franchise quarterback in their whole existence, and that's not ideal circumstances. Like, we don't have many young up and coming.
No, we don't.
Which is good.
We got Daniel Jones. He's young and up.
Could be, definitely. But
up and coming into what I don't know, but he's up and coming.
But that's good for the Giants, though. Let them have all the superstar quarterbacks in the AFC.
I mean, listen, maybe Daniel Jones is up and coming to a Pro Bowl. Maybe he's up and coming out of a job. I mean, who the hell knows? Philly Oldhead, thank you for the $5. Boom! I appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. Brilly. And Lee, I like his thumbnail, though. Hey, Dallas.
With the middle finger. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Listen, that's one thing the Eagles.
We can agree on that, old head.
We can always hate on the Cowboys. It's one thing the Eagles and Giants fans can do. It's one thing we can always agree on when we're like, well, at least we hate the Cowboys, and then the Eagles and Cowboys fans, at least we hate the Giants. And Washington Cowboys, at least we hate the Eagles. It's just funny how that works. Andy, I remembered. I'm bad with names, but I remembered. Thank you so much, man. Really, brother. Appreciate you. He says, even in Jets house, and hanging my prediction. Ingram gets to a Pro Bowl this year. What do you think? Yeah, he got to a Pro Bowl last year.
What's going on, Andy? I'm going to say no, just because I think he's going to miss probably at least the first 2 games. He's coming out. It looks like he probably won't play the first game. We'll see. And if he doesn't, what is that?
1 touchdown last year made a Pro Bowl. He's in.
That's true. I'm going to go no.
Till his injury.
What I will say, if he made it last year, he can make it this year, because he had no business making it last year.
He didn't. But listen, I thought he was poised to have a big year. And it's very strange that I would actually all of a sudden just jump on the Evan Ingram bet. But I just felt like he was going to, and he played very well in the preseason. And hopefully this calf thing doesn't last too long, because that was the knock on him at the beginning of his career, is that the guy couldn't stay healthy, even though he dropped passes a lot. And then, of course, last year he was healthy, but he dropped a ton.
Yeah.
And a lot of our turnovers were thrown in that direction. So it sucks. I mean, we need Evan Ingram. Like Daniel Jones, the quarterbacks that don't have good offensive lines, they need that tight end, because that's like, your hot route, or that's your check down or whatever. He's your safety blanket when you don't have a good offensive line. And Evan Ingram needs to be that guy. So it sucks. I hope that he's okay. Taco Nacho, thank you, brother. Really appreciate you, my man. He says, hey, Chris and Bad Dog, the way that we're in position that we need all this offensive line is said, and it's concerning to me. The O-line has got to get better, especially Thomas, when we had any tackle available.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should be concerned about the line right now. We'll say it every stream, and hopefully they prove us all wrong. But and Andrew Thomas, I mean, listen, we talk about Daniel Jones could cost Dave Gettleman his job. Andrew Thomas could just as easily cost Dave Gettleman his job.
True.
The 4th overall pick, he has got to be much better, and I think he will be. I'm not going to let 2 quarters of a preseason game change my opinion on Andrew Thomas. He looked bad, but I still think he will have a pretty good year this year. I question a lot of other parts of the offensive line, but I do think Andrew Thomas will be much better this year than last year.
I hope so. I think the game against the Patriots was an aberration. He's not that bad.
And the other thing is, somebody brought it up in the chat too, that I think it makes sense. Bill Belichick had 2 days of scrimmages to look at Andrew Thomas and game plan for Andrew Thomas. And like I said, I think he's working on a lot of things with all the new techniques. I don't think he's going to look that bad come season. I really don't.
Yep. Dire Giants fan 120. He should change that to a 420. That'd be perfect. Brilly says, can't believe Herbert didn't want to play for. Well, he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, well, he's saying he stayed in college rather than.
It wasn't for that reason. He stayed in college because his brother was there. So he stayed there an extra year. It's not that he didn't want to play with the Giants.
And the other thing is, there's no guarantees he gets to us.
Right.
And there was no guarantees that no team. If he comes out, who's to say? Arizona might have taken him. I know that they liked Kyler Murray, but they could have taken him, or somebody could have jumped us and taken him. There's no guarantees we would have got him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Philly Oldhead, thank you again, my man. Really, I appreciate you, brother. Check your receipts. Eagles own the Giants over the last 5 years. Well, I ask you this. Who won the last game?
There you go.
That's really all that matters, right? That's all that matters, right? What are the last 5 years? This is the other thing I say. The last 5 years don't have anything to do with this year, correct? So we were an Evan Ingram drop away from sweeping you. Yeah, I know it doesn't matter. If it's in butts or candies nuts, every day be Christmas. I get it. But we were better than you last year, and we're going to be better than you this year. Last 5 years don't matter. I mean, I could say to you, well, geez, since 86, how many Super Bowls you got, right? It doesn't matter. None of that matters now. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I think we got over the hump last year. I don't think they were going to be in our head anymore. But and Taco, he says, Chris, who's your starting line right now? I got to know if Lemieux's playing, but if Lemieux's not playing, I think I would prefer to keep Gates where he is. I don't think I'd want to move Gates. I'd like to preferably keep Gates at the center, and then I'd probably go with the tackle that we just picked up from Baltimore. I'm sorry, I'm getting them all confused because we just picked up 3. Redderson. I think I would start at the guard if Lemieux can't go, and I would have the same lineup we've had. I'd have Thomas at the left, I'd have Parrott at the right, and we'd go from there. And if Parrott struggles, I'd put Solder in there pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree. You listen, Ray W. Okay, he says 4-1. That's Giants Super Bowls over the Eagles, but he's a Bama fan, right? I mean, ask him about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts played there for years before he graduated, transferred to Oklahoma so that he could say, hey, look, I can throw the ball. I'm going to the Big 12 where I know all they do is throw the ball and they don't do anything else and there's no defense and CeeDee Lamb can run right open down the field all day long and I just throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb. So, I mean, ask Ray. They played for Alabama. Ray knows Bama. Roll Tide! That's for Ray. But seriously, ask Ray. Ask a Sooner fan. You know, I had a guy in my Jalen Hurts when they traded for Minshew. I pinned the comment. He said, I have no rooting interest in the Giants or Eagles. I'm a Sooner fan. And I agree with every single thing Baddog says about Jalen Hurts. Yeah. No rooting interest in either one. Could not care less about the Eagles and Giants. Don't like Jalen Hurts. I say it all the time. Ask a Sooner fan. Rank the 5 quarterbacks. Murray, Mayfield, Bradford, Rattler, Hurts. Hurts is going to be fifth in a lot of them lists. Murray won a Heisman. Baker won a Heisman. Why the hell didn't Hurts win one? Same team. Why the hell didn't Hurts win? Huh? What? I mean, Baker Mayfield lost in a heartbreaking fashion against Georgia in the Rose Bowl. Alabama got off to a big lead. They're up 28-0. Kyler Murray brought him back. Jalen Hurts down 49-7 at halftime, whatever the hell it was. I mean, come on, man. I mean, LSU destroyed us. Jalen Hurts stinks. Andy, Brilly, thank you so much. Was Clement so bad that we cut him?
I thought we were going to cut Clement. And I know Giants
I think he went to Dallas.
He did. And I know the Giants fans wanted him to make the team because he looked good running the ball the first preseason game. And I would have been obviously okay with him making it, but I always knew that Booker was going to be the primary backup, and I knew that more than likely they weren't going to want to cut Brightwell because they drafted him. So as long as Brightwell showed anything in the preseason games, I knew it was tough sledding for Clement. So I'm not too surprised by that. I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that they drafted Brightwell, and they didn't want to waste a 6th-round pick, and obviously they believe in him in terms of the future and special teams, and they want him to develop. So I think that's why it happened. And I'm not getting too bent out of shape about it because you could find running backs. We found them last year. They came in, they did a pretty good job, whether it be Devontae Freeman, whether it was Alfred Morris. Like, you could find running backs. It's not the end of the world. I know fans wanted Clement, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Someone said Hurts won a championship against Clemson when he was at Bama. A.J. McCarron won a championship too. What's your point? How good is A.J. McCarron? How many Bama quarterbacks have won
I'm frozen.
championships?
You're frozen.
What's that? I think I just lost. Oh, there you go. What happened?
No, we're good now. You were frozen, but now you're good.
Oh, you were frozen.
Oh, I was frozen. Okay, yeah, I couldn't tell because you were frozen, but I guess it was because
But yeah, so I mean, how many Bama quarterbacks have won championships that never even made the NFL? So come on. Dire Giants fan, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. We got to get out of here. Brilly says Eagles are shit. The fans know it and bring up irrelevant statistics. No one in this division is scared of you. Tell them.
I'm not scared of him. That's for damn sure.
I think that's a good way to end this.
I agree.
That's a good way to end this. Guys and girls, Irish Rover, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. Brilly. Ben, I'm really interested in how you feel about Jalen Hurts. I really should talk about my true feelings, shouldn't I, Irish? In 2 words, he stinks. Just like Sam Darnold stinks. Jalen Hurts stinks the same way. Pretty bad. Like a big, hefty, sweaty guy that ain't showering like onion pockets and piss hands, pretty much. That's what Jalen Hurts smells like. On that note, let's get out of here. It's almost midnight. Philly Old Head, you guys aren't letting me get out. I really appreciate you guys and girls. Thank you for all your generosity. Thank you guys and girls for being here. I really appreciate it. It's been an awesome show. Football is a week away, man. I can't wait. Thank you so much, brother Brilly. He says, yeah, I have a Hurts hat, and he's going to bust the Giants, miserable loser Giants butts. You're all overconfident in your loser quarterback and O-line. Well, if you've been here the whole time, Philly Old Head, you can tell that we're not confident. We're not overconfident. We're not even confident in our offensive line. And I don't think anybody's overconfident in Daniel Jones. We're not Eagles fans. We don't think just because you wear Giants blue that you're the greatest player since sliced bread. That's not how we roll in this fan base. But I do appreciate you being here, and I love the trash talk. It's always part of the fun. It's nothing but love, baby. I love the NFC East. It's my favorite. I love talking trash. It's good
And
stuff.
what I'll say to him before we close it out, enjoy that hat, wear that hat as much as you possibly can right now. Get the most out of it. Get your bang for your buck. I am telling you right now, I'm trying to give you the best advice I can because I care about you. If you wear it in the shower, wear it wherever you go because you're not going to be able to wear it much longer. And if you could try to sell it and get half your money back, do it now because that hat is going to be worth nothing by the end of the year. I'm trying to be nice to you as a one thing to another because that hat is going to be worthless by the end of this season. So wear it as much as you possibly can. And if you can try to get half your money back, sell it on eBay, do it right now.
What is the old saying? Go shit in your hat. Well, by the end of the year, that might be what it's used for, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. A Philly old head. I love the name. And like I said, I just love talking trash. Taco, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Really. You think Quincy Roche will get playing time?
I think he could get a little bit. I don't think he's going to start, but I think he could get. I think they could use him a little bit, but I don't think he'll start.
Dire Giants fan, you the man. Appreciate you, brother. Really. Saying we suck doesn't change that. You suck. That's right. Now let's get out of here. Guys and gals, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. This is awesome. We're getting pumped up for football. Next week's show is going to be great because we're going to be talking about the Broncos. We're going to know what we got going into week one. It's going to be awesome. And then, of course, a week from Sunday, wait a minute. It's not going to be next Thursday, though, because you're streaming that game, right?
Well, probably a Friday, maybe, or we'll figure it out.
Well, we're doing it next week. And then, obviously, a week from Sunday, Giants Broncos, probably 4 o'clock. We'll probably start a little bit early, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we'll probably start at 4 for 4:25. Yep,
somewhere in there. But we can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. Obviously, thank you guys and girls so much for making this show what it is. You guys and girls are amazing. This show is going to be really. I feel like we're going to have like 1,000 people in here during the year when the Giants are playing because we've been getting 600-700 a night beforehand, and obviously that means the world to us. So thank you all so much for all the support. It is awesome. And, keep an eye out for the videos. I'm sure Chris and I will have a lot of videos, and I'm sure we'll be live streaming at some point. Chris does it during the afternoon sometimes. I do it late at night, but appreciate you guys and girls being here. Thanks so much, and let Chris close it out.
No, I mean, of course, a little tired now. I don't know why it caught up to me, but thank you so much to everybody for all the support that you guys always show. Love doing this show. Love the support from all you guys. So can't say thank you enough to each and every one of you guys. So see you guys soon. Hopefully you come on over to my channel. We'll be doing the same show like Baddog said on Friday, and then whatever day, and then we're going to be live streaming the game on my channel as well. So looking forward to each and every one of you guys.
Go Quan, real quick. Thanks so much, Brilly. It has been a while. He says, I know it's been a while. I wish everyone to have a blessed day. Well, thank you. Turtle and the egg. Is that a turtle or is that a dinosaur?
I think that's turtle. He's into turtles. He's into the turtle sex.
No, that's right. You're the dolphin guy. Go Quan, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Guys and girls, have a great night for the Entertaining Talking Sports. The Bad Diggity Dizzle. We are gone. Peace.